Greatest. Allow me to reintroduce myself.
The Sultan of SWAT. The King of Crash. The Colossus of Clout. The Colossus of Clout.
Yo, this is Nappy Boy Radio Live.
King Kong ain't got shit on me.
You so crazy.
And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Everybody stay where you are. Chill the F out.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I am Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Chaka.
Well, around here, between Normandy and Weston, we call this here a little twin. Wow.
It's simple. We kill the Batman.
I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
Tell me, do you bleed? You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
These white men are dangerous.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
That there is going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out.
Oh my God, you want to talk about mothers? Oh, you want to talk about mothers? It's mother time.
Move, Captain. I won't ask a second time. It's no moon. It's a space station. It's too big to be a space station.
Here at WIZ, we play nothing but the hits. Nothing but the hits. Nothing but the motherfucker.
I ain't scared of you, mother.
What's up and what's going on, fellow fanatics? Appreciate everybody being here on this Friday evening. Hope everybody had a good Friday day, the end of your week. We are here today to talk to you guys about some of the things going on in the news, some media going on, things like that. We're going to hang out with you guys a little bit on this Friday. Hope that you all had a good Friday. Before we get into everything, I'm going to start it how I always do. If you are new here and you'd like to join our Discord, you can do so. You can hit that link down below in the bio. There are mass amounts of conversations going on within our Discord daily. We have different channels ranging from Star Wars, Marvel, DC, anime. You name it, they are talking about it. And it's also the best way for me to get in contact with you, or you get in contact with me, so that when we do giveaways, we can get your mailing information. So if you would like to join our Discord, that link is down below in the bio. You can do so by clicking that link. So Q, how was your day today?
Felt like a Monday, busy. I just been working hella because, I'm trying to move out. But then I'm trying to go to Vegas for the Gervonta Davis fight on the 22nd, so just been stupid busy. Got to go to work tomorrow, so but been casual, go to work tomorrow. John Jones coming back to fight tomorrow, so busy weekend though.
Right. Work day, very, very tired, stressful work day. I leave for Jacksonville, Texas. My grandmother's birthday was yesterday. I leave for Texas at 4 a.m. Because my mom wants to get on the road, and because we're only staying down there until Sunday morning. So, I'll be in Texas this entire weekend. But like I said, before I even do any of that, we're going to hang out with you guys. I have some things I want to talk about, hopefully some things that you guys want to hear about. So the first thing that we're going to get into, okay.
JD75, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I'm so sorry. Let me get into the supers. Let me get into the chat here. Thank you, JD, for being here. Thank you for that 5, just for being generous. Thank you for that. Professor Film Fan, we appreciate you being here. Tim's Talk, thank you as always. On the left, Network, appreciate you being here. Mind of Inception, appreciate it. D-Stizzle, as always, appreciate it. Gray, as always. Snyder, appreciate it. Ant-Man 1991, appreciate it. Omega 095, Officially MG, Zang Beto, Underhaven, to Jinx, A Man of Culture, Nico Bean, Andre Ware, we appreciate all of you. And all of you that are not in the chat but are just watching, we appreciate you all being here as well. Now, like I said, we have some things that we are going to talk about. Why my TV screen is kind of dark. Is not. It is dark. We have some things we're going to talk about first. The first thing we're going to get into and talk about is going to be the things going on with... Okay. This is what I mean. Hold on. Sorry. 1 second. Shit is stupid. All right, there we go. We're going to talk about what's going on with Michael B. Jordan. So, for those that don't know, Michael B. Jordan did an interview. I'm assuming this was for Creed. It was on the red carpet. And the interviewer who was interviewing him was somebody that he went to high school with. And, of course, we all remember high school. Regardless of how long you've been out of high school, you remember high school. High school is a pivotal moment in your life that is something that you just simply won't forget. There are certain moments that, for me personally, there are moments in my life that are burned in my brain for whatever reason. Even if it's a moment that's in my brain where it's like, why do I remember this? What's the purpose of me remembering this? People typically don't forget how you made them feel. Regardless of again, how long of time it's been, people typically don't forget. I'm one of those people. I will hold a grudge for a long period of time. I'm holding grudges from 2002. So it's like people won't forget, how you made them feel. And so the interviewer, I guess, bullied him in high school. Constantly were calling him corny and things like that, making fun of his aspirations of wanting to be an actor, and et cetera, typical high school things. Well, of course, like I said, people won't forget that shit. Michael B. Jordan did not forget what was said to him. And before we get into what Dumbass Joe had to say, and if you agree with Joe, that's fine. Your opinion. I have the right to my fucking opinion. I can feel the way I want to feel, just as you can feel the way you want to feel. But I have the platform, so I'm going to say what the fuck I want to say. So if you agree with what Joe said, that's fine. But I'm going to play what Michael B. Jordan. I'm going to play the interview really quick so you guys can see, in case you haven't, this is news to you and you just don't know what the fuck is going on.
On the Hustle Show, we got Michael B. Jordan, the director and the star of Creed 3. And, we know each other. We go way back all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay?
The Corny kid, right?
No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure. No, you did not hear me say. I said we used to make fun of the name. But yeah, he is obviously killing things out here. How was the difference between you actually directing and working with the same people that you were directed with versus?
It was awesome. It's a family vibe. Yeah. Last nine years of my life, I spent on the Creed films. They're very supportive. Tessa, Felicia, Rashad, Wood Harris, people that see me grow up. Yeah. And for the fact that I stepped behind the camera and finally got a chance to direct them, they loved it, they embraced it, and it was a wonderful experience. And
was it difficult for you mentally because you're coming out of a different space?
I didn't know he was doing the athletic gear. I was staying in it. This is about y'all. This ain't about me.
Isn't this the sexiest man show off right here? Who's the sexiest man? Because now who's the sexiest man? Because I thought you said you're on the way up. He might be the one right now.
He is the one. This is the one right here. Yeah.
So is it a tie?
Ain't no tie. We don't compete. Yeah, we don't compete.
Two number ones. Batman and Batman. Or should I? Oh, no, can't say that.
Superman and Superman.
Superman and Superman, sorry.
Good luck with that. Love you, bro.
Okay, so you also are going to do a new film with Will Smith very soon coming up. Is the rumor out there?
Not sure. We're still working on the script. That's something that I plan on doing in the future. Not sure when, with these movies. I'm just trying to get through this project.
Right,
When I get finished with this one, then I'll figure out what's going on next.
And how is it filming in Atlanta?
It was amazing. I've done 4 or 5 films down here, shot a couple television shows, so Atlanta's a second home to me, and I love coming down here to shoot.
Favorite restaurant here?
Oh, man. Whatever hotel I'm in, their restaurant.
Well, you're not corny anymore.
Okay, so we heard, everybody I'm sure has seen that. Now, let's hear what Joe had to say. Before we get into what I'm and Q have to say about it, let's hear what Joe had to say.
That to a girl is some corny nigga shit.
I can see that.
You being
that
Michael B. Jordan.
Okay. It must have been a slow podcast day for them. They must have not had a lot to discuss and talk about. And the reason I say that is because there's no story here. There's a story now because Joe made it into a story, and the story is for me personally, the story is Joe. This is stupid. This is dumb. This is Joe simply reaching as he always does. Anytime that he's trying to find something to make him or keep himself relevant or keep his little podcast relevant, he has to drum up unnecessary drama where there is no drama.
Yeah.
This, as I've said before, as I said when I talked about it earlier today on Twitter, had it been me, had I been in Michael B. Jordan's position, his body language was everything. One, his body language spoke more volumes than him saying, "Oh, you called me corny," because he was sitting there. You know, there's the Bible verse. I think it's Psalms 23:5. I go to prepare a place for. I'll prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies. What that means is, those people that wanted to say that said things about you behind your back or in your face or whatever, you don't have to worry about that, because at the end of the day, people like that are humbled. This had to have been a humbling interview for her. For her to sit there in high school and call him this or that or make fun of his aspirations of being an actor, then for him to come on, remember that shit. I'm sure he's been waiting for this moment to remember that shit, and then call her out on her, say, "Oh no, that was just jokes, blah 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 blah." And then, now the part for me that the whole thing, it's not even Joe calling him corny, because he can call him what he wants to call him. It's the stance of the argument he's taking. This doesn't have shit to do with a sister. I don't give a fuck if it's a sister. I don't care if she's red, yellow, black, or white. It has nothing to do with color. It has everything to do with how you treat a person. It has everything to do with someone remembering how you made them feel. It has nothing to do with color. If this woman was Chinese, if she was Native American, hell, if she was Blackanese, whatever she might have been, that had nothing. Her color has nothing to do with it. The sister argument that I'm seeing a lot of niggas use is played out in this situation. It is played out. I don't give a fuck if she's black, if she's white, red, yellow, blue, green, whatever. If you make a motherfucker feel a certain type of way, they're going to remember that shit. And they're going to call you out on it. So I applaud Michael B. Jordan for calling her out on her bullshit. Yeah. Bitch, just because you came at me at 16 does not mean at 30, whatever, I'm going to forget that shit. Yeah. And for you, if you are one, again, I'll always say this. I said this on Instagram. If you must forgive, you know? If that's something that you feel you need to do in your heart, forgive. And but it's like, I'm about to stop so you can go. It's like that saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 2 times, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, can't get fooled again. Well, what the fuck are you doing getting fooled 3 times? I only have to touch fire once to understand that it's hot. Yeah. So he was bullied once to understand that this person's not on my team. And again, if you feel as if he's a corny, well then I'm cornball with him, because I would have acted the exact same way. That's just me. There's no story here.
Yeah. I only got a couple things to say, whereas he handled it a lot better. And that's where I'll be looking at situations like this like I couldn't be famous. Because if that was like me in his position, I wouldn't even have answered her question. He answered everything she had to say respectfully. It was the way she even ended the interview. She's like, "Oh, well, you're not corny anymore." Mm-hmm. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? Right. Even that little statement right there probably would have pissed me off.
Right.
And so that, and then the only thing I got to say about Joe Budden is that nigga is just like, I don't know, bro. That nigga's never been like relevant to me. The only time this nigga is relevant is dead, and that's why I texted you about it, is whenever this nigga is trying to hate on a nigga. Mm-hmm. Like, that is whenever he's relevant. He's trying to hate on a, and I guarantee you, if that lady interviewing Michael B. Jordan was white and Michael B. Jordan called her corny, he wouldn't have had anything. I don't think Joe Budden would have had anything to say.
Probably
not. But now he's trying to stick up. He tries to create this image that he's sticking up for a sister or something like that. That's the image he tries. I don't know. If you go back and look at Joe Budden and how he creates his arguments and shit, it's always trying to beef with like a nigga that's more popular than him, just so he can get his name up in that conversation. I don't know. That nigga Joe Budden always been corny to me. I've never looked at that nigga's podcast and shit. Mostly because his co-hosts are like a bunch of like just riding
a bunch of yes men. They go with what he says.
It's a whole bunch of, it's 3 niggas in there, 2 niggas, 1 woman who sit in a room, and it's not entertaining because it's one point of view, and it's Joe Budden's.
Right.
Like, it's 2 people who agree with him, and that's the only opinion you get. And that itself is what's corny to me. Like, And so, like I said, Michael B. Jordan handled it perfect because I would have handled it different. I would have been like, "Oh, I'm the corny nigga, huh? What's corny? I'll show you corny now." Like, I would have been like, "Question,
right?
What is it?" Like, I would have acted
Really?
like an asshole.
Really?
And so I just don't understand the fact of him even, like you said, trying to make a situation out of it. But like I said, it's what he always does, because who the fuck was talking about Joe Budden in the month of January or February?
No one.
In 2023, I have not heard shit about Joe Budden.
No one's talking about Joe because, again, as you've said, Joe's irrelevant.
Stick up for women like this. I mean, I'm pretty sure that nigga got like 3K for beating women. Like, I'm not joking. That nigga is sick.
And the stance, though, that's the whole thing for me. It's the stance. Like, how you gonna do this to a woman of color? But you wouldn't do this to these white bitches. Da 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 da. Nigga, that has nothing to do with where you're pulling
and
color
that's my
in this.
Thing. He says it's corny because he did it to a black woman. If it was a white woman, he would have had no problem. Oh, he called this white bitch corny on this stage. He called her out.
Right.
Yeah. Like, he would be like, "Yay, black." Like, no, he's definitely, like I said, that nigga he tries to take whatever view is going to get him, which obviously we are sitting here talking about him. But tomorrow I'm not going to wake up, and when I leave, when we get on the next subject, I'm probably not going to think about Joe Budden until he does some more corny shit.
Right. And the only reason, to that part, the only reason we are even talking about Joe, to anybody out there that might, feel like, oh, well, he got y'all talking about him. No. I'm talking about the ignorance. I'm discussing the ignorance. I'm not discussing Joe personally or anything. I'm discussing the ignorance of the conversation and the stance of the ignorant argument that he's making. That's what I'm discussing. That's crazy to me. It's when I saw that shit on Twitter, I was just like, are you? Because I saw like a thread of people saying, oh yeah, Michael B. Jordan's this, he's this. What? What? That's so wild to me. That is wild. Anytime it's a black actor or somebody black in Hollywood, it seems like they get so much more heat from the masses. And I know people are probably sick of me using this example, but I don't know where else to go because it's been the talk of the past 2 year and a half. Miller. And nothing that Michael B. Jordan,
Will Smith,
nothing that Michael B. Jordan did here was on par to even put his name in the same category with Miller. But I'm only saying this because it seems like every time a black entertainer speaks up or defends themselves in any type of way,
media,
well then everyone loses their minds, and it's like
higher ups, and it's just like it's not. At the end of the day, like you said, it's not that big of a deal. Like she established, they go way back. Whether that's a good or bad relationship,
right.
I'm willing to bet they had a conversation off camera.
Could have.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you did call me like this and that, whatever. Corny this, corny that. Okay. It's like whatever. She may have went home humbled and been like, damn, that nigga remembered.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like nobody was sitting there like, oh my God, this nigga Michael B. Jordan's an asshole. Like, and I don't see how niggas get that viewpoint. I really don't.
I don't either. It's pretty wild to me. But I'm just here. We're just talking. Question as always for you guys. What are you guys thinking about the drama going on with Joe Budden and Michael B. Jordan? Actually, it's really not drama between Michael B. Jordan. I'm pretty sure wherever Michael B. Jordan is, he doesn't give a fuck because he's about to make so much money off of the masterpiece, what I've heard is a masterpiece from Creed. So this is really just Joe between Joe. So what do you think about the argument of Joe between Joe? Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking about the ignorant shit, in my opinion, the ignorant shit that Joe is trying to drum up.
Nico Bean said, us black men are supposed to swallow our pride and deal with the disrespect. A bunch of bull.
Yeah.
Hungry said, what's his face is making it a bigger deal than what it needs to be. Mike handled it better than a lot of other people in that situation. Talk about Joe. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I would, like we both said, I probably would have did some extra shit that really would have made, like, I'm corny.
Yeah, I'll give you a reason to call. I'll give you a reason to call me out on your podcast.
Be Real said, I'm like y'all. I ain't been checking for Joe Budden in a fucking minute.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. Like, no one is.
D. Steezel said, I remember when Joe got punked on a reality show. I remember that shit.
Now you're trying to punk motherfuckers from his podcast.
Man, Them his co-hosts being punked. I know they be having some different viewpoints. They just never get to share them motherfuckers. Kenny Pierce said, "Is being corny a bad thing though? Some people like that." I mean,
that's fine. If that's fine, it's the context and the way that Joe's using it though. Like, it's the way that Joe's using it. Like, I can call somebody a bitch. Like, if I say bitch, or if I say fucking bitch, there's two different fucking meanings to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it's the context in which he's using it.
Fucking corny. Like, he's actually trying to provoke something. Dougie Fresh said, Mr. Jordan had the most minimal reaction possible, and yet it has become this big thing. Exactly. Like, literally, corny kid from high school, right?
Yeah. Yeah, bro, it's
literally
not
sound like a Creed line.
Yeah, there's no story here. It's so funny to me. The shit people make a big deal out of.
At least we get to see Ezra fighting against himself in the Flash versus Dark Flash. Nice he played himself and another himself. Cyber Anime Glitches says, y'all hear or read Jeff Loveness saying, I refuse to listen to the fans on this. He'll be a big dumbhead. Ant-Man 3 writer Jeff Loveness mocks fan criticism of MODOK in Quantumania.
I did read where Jeff Loveness was talking about the critic reviews and the reviews from the audience and things like that. He was hurt. He said he was hurt by it. But yeah, he, as most people do, when you attack their work, they're going to have something smart to say back to it. So I did see it though.
Zang Beto said Joe is friends with the interviewer, the woman.
Oh, okay. Well, a good friend will tell you when you're wrong. A good friend will call you out on your bullshit.
Good got a good looking. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, that nigga got your ass. Raymond said, you can forgive in some circumstances. Sometimes you need to hold that grudge and let it marinate. So the next time you see the person, you can beat the brakes off.
I'm telling you, bro. When I tell you I've been holding grudges since 2002, I mean that shit. My mother's husband. My sister's father. In 2019, I walked out of my mother's house from getting an argument with him, and he's been in our lives since I was 6 years old. And I said, we will never speak again in life. Until I hear those horns come through those clouds, we will never speak again in life. That was in 2019. We have not said a word. Now, has attempts been made to speak to me? Of course. But when I say something, I mean that shit. I'm done. And I can hold a grudge, bro. Like like Henry said, I'm driven by spite. Which was funny as shit when he said that.
A man of culture said Joe Budden talking about white women allegations like he don't beat women is crazy. Yeah, nigga's insane, bro.
Ah, fuck.
Kenny said Joe Budden just desperately trying to stay relevant. He's like Steve A. Smith, except some people actually like Steve.
Yeah. It's a good example.
A couple more said Nico Bean said dude was definitely reaching. He had no reason to speak on this.
Yeah. Reaching for sure, bro.
D. Steezel said, funny Joe Budden is more known for being a podcaster than an MC. It's like Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Last one, Nico said, is Quantumania a must-watch to understand what's going to happen in the future phases of the MCU?
No. I don't think so. I mean, we all know Kang's here. I mean, if you just want to see how badass Kang is, yeah, but I don't think Quantumania, Loki's post-credit scene set up more for multiversal shit than anything for me, and I mean, I guess, I don't know.
I mean, at this point in time, if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you can watch what might be important on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
I did rewatch it, and that first half is just genuinely
I told you.
good.
I'm telling you.
And I mean, like, we both knew. And it's just like, it's not that it's like slow. It's just not good. It's like, one, it's because we already kind of know the characters. We know Ant-Man, we know Hank. We all know the relationship they have with each other. But it's like none of the relationships were, like, altered in any way. Like, changed by any of the decisions. So they kind of just go through the whole movie until they meet Kang. And then at that point, it's just, let's Scott go get Cassie back.
Yeah.
It's really all it.
Yeah. Cyber Anime said he's never heard of Joe Budden until now. Well,
I'm gonna be honest. I've only heard like 2 or 3 of that nigga songs. I only know him for being a podcaster, and it's not a good one.
And Hungry said, before the last one I'll read here, Hungry said, IDK, why we live in a world where criticism is only viewed as a bad thing. Case in point, a lot of people said Batista can't act. Batista heard the criticism and went to acting school. Some people are driven by, I'm one of those people. I'm driven by, I will show you that if you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to show you the fuck I can.
And it's like, obviously, Michael B. Jordan probably the same way. I bet you him being called corny. Because I know exactly what it was. It's like, he played sports, but he probably wasn't the best nigga at sports, which is why he's acting. And so anytime you see a black kid who isn't the best at sports, the nigga's name is Michael Jordan, I'm willing to bet black people probably picked on that nigga and called him corny for wanting to act.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that's just probably something that was the situation.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I bet you he held on to that. And that's how most people do handle criticism. But it's like, I don't know why niggas come out like this. And that, like, what Joe Budden's doing is just hating.
Right.
He's just being a dry-ass
being
hater.
a fucking
it's like,
hater.
no criticism is there. Like, he didn't say, Michael B. Jordan, like, they made this, the other nigga made the statement of, oh, he could have made a comment off camera. But it's like, why?
Yeah, why would I
Like,
make a
niggas are
comment
just
off
hating.
camera? Like, brother, I'm at an interview for my movie.
Like, nigga, I am Michael B. Jordan.
What?
Like,
I'm at an interview for my motherfucking movie. Why would I say what? No, that niggas is weird, bro. Weird.
D. Diesel said I might have been one, like Q might have been 1 or 2 last time Joe Budden music was popping. Yeah, I even listen to old music and shit too, and I've never been like, yeah, let me turn this button on. Like,
yeah, anybody listen to fucking Joe? Nobody's checking for Joe.
Yeah, bro, I ain't.
But
play that button.
we'll move here to the next topic. The next topic we're going to touch on. It's actually so let me pull that tweet really quick here. Actually, so we've got some Spider-Woman news, which we've kind of, some of us, we've talked about some of this stuff. Some of this stuff we already do know. We've talked about Madam Web quite a bit, talking about it as far as the plot leak goes, as far as the individuals, characters that are going to be in it. We've talked about Madam Web. We've talked about how a young Peter Parker is going to be the MacGuffin of the film and things like that. So we've talked about a couple of different things in regards to the rumors surrounding Madam Web. Now, anything that I've said about Madam Web, always take that with a grain of salt, because I'm getting what I'm telling you guys from different scoopers and insiders. Well, this is what we're talking about. Yeah, and it's Sony. And it's Sony. So, yeah.
They can switch anything up.
Anything. So, this is coming from another credible inciting page, rather, let's say that. And that's coming from Geek Vibes, where they're saying that Sydney Sweeney is reportedly going to be playing Spider-Woman in Madam Web. Now, before everybody starts thinking Jessica Drew, no, not Jessica Drew. It's not going to be Jessica Drew that Sydney Sweeney is going to be playing. It is going to be Julia Carpenter, who's more akin to wearing the Venom-looking spider suit. So we will see her portraying Julia Carpenter. And again, kind of like the Wolverine shit, I feel like this is not news. Maybe it's because we cover leaks and rumors.
I didn't know which iteration.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I didn't know confirmed, but I knew she was playing Spider-Woman.
Yeah, we knew she was playing Spider-Woman. But I just feel like, maybe it's because we cover leaks and rumors, that we hear stuff months in advance.
Yeah, we got that video of her doing the UFC training.
Yeah, like we've this is not news really to me, but a lot of people are talking about it. So I was like, okay, let's Let's talk about it again. Well, My Time to Shine Hello then came out and said what she had to say. My Time to Shine Hello came out and said, somebody said, if she wears that suit, God help us all. To where My Time to Shine Hello said she's not going to because she's not that Spider-Woman and will not be the lead of the solo film from Olivia Wilde. Now, what she said about Olivia Wilde was wild to me. No pun intended. Was wild to me because we all know that Olivia Wilde directed Don't Worry, Darling. And Don't Worry, Darling did not do well in box office numbers. It did not do well with the drama surrounding the film. The press tour was disastrous. Florence Pugh wasn't wanting to show up to shit because of all the shit going on. Then you had the whole affair. It's a bunch of shit surrounding Olivia Wilde. So I don't know if Olivia Wilde is still going to be attached to this because we've not really heard anything about the film since the Don't Worry, Darling, or whatever it's called. Isn't it Don't Worry, Darling? Yeah. Whatever. Since the drama surrounding that. I'll say this too about Sydney Sweeney. Her character in Euphoria annoys the shit out of me. What's her character's name again in Euphoria? I forget. She annoys the shit out of me.
As soon as they say, we all know it.
And I hope, because this is the only thing, the only thing I've seen Sydney Sweeney in is Euphoria. Cassie.
And that's my thing, though. It's not Sydney Sweeney in Euphoria. It's Cassie. In which it makes me think she's doing her job. Cause,
hopefully that's what it is.
She's supposed to be fucking annoying.
She is.
I don't know. So it's like, I think Sydney plays that role well, but I'm also excited to see, because after when we did see that UFC training, I was like, it would be different to just see her in a role where she's in something completely fictional, not in a fucking high school euphoric ass drama where she's like, where we know that director really only wanted her to be there and be naked and shit. Like, that's one of the main reasons she gets paid and shit. Not at the beginning. And then she started getting all her main roles and everything. Her main episodes with them. But it's like, I actually want to see her play something where it's like, because like you said, I haven't seen anything else other than Euphoria. And so it's like, I want to see something where I'm invested in it and it's supposed to be important so that I know I'm holding her to like a higher standard. Not saying I'm a critic or some shit. I just want to see something good.
I like Sydney Sweeney. Cassie annoys the shit out of me, but I do like Sydney Sweeney. And I saw a lot of people, like this one says here, if she wears that suit, God help us all. Well, I can tell you why she's not wearing that suit. Because if the Olivia Wilde film is still happening, this is an old rumor. An old rumor that has now come back to life. And when I say old rumor, I'm talking like, we heard this shit like, I heard about this shit back in like early 2021, late 2020. I heard Jessica Drew is supposed to be Daisy Ridley. And how do you feel about that, chat? I've heard that Jessica Drew is supposed to be Daisy Ridley. Personally, it's like kind of the whole Sydney Sweeney thing with Cassie. It's not Daisy Ridley as Rey. It's what Star Wars and Disney did with Daisy Ridley portraying Rey. It's how they wrote Rey. And she doing the best of her abilities to act that character out the way that they wanted her to do it. Now, I did see her in that weird, stupid fucking movie with Tom Holland where they can hear each other's thoughts or whatever.
Oh, fucking.
I turned that shit off.
Let me look that one up because I actually want to. What is that shit?
Yeah,
called?
that shit. I didn't like her acting in that. And again, it could have just been because it was the way it was written, the terrible fucking movie. If you like the movie, that's great. A terrible fucking movie for me. Whatever. But I do like. I think that Daisy Ridley, she has the Jessica Drew. Like she has the look. She has the look. She does. She is the brunette. She looks like Jessica Drew. So that's just I don't know. I don't have anything else to give you with that. That's just the rumor that has been an old rumor that died that came back to life. What's it called?
Chaos Walking.
Yeah, Chaos Walking was exactly that.
That Hulu shit. That's exactly. It was.
It was exactly that. Chaos fucking
That shit
walking.
got a 21.
Yeah. But as always, guys, question is for you. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking. What are you guys thinking about Sydney Sweeney portraying Julia Carpenter? And I feel like, again, these are things you guys, at least in our chat, should know. We've talked about this. What are you guys thinking about that? And more so, what are you thinking about Madam Web? We've talked about Madam Web quite a bit. I know a lot of you, specifically D. Stizzle and Raymond, are not looking forward to Madam Web.
First comments I was going to read. D. Stizzle
I know, because they're not looking forward to this.
He said, I don't like either of them. D. Stizzle said they're both Caucasian.
I'm looking for. I'm not saying that I'm looking forward to. Actually, I am saying that. I am, out of everything that Sony has put out that they're for their upcoming shit, the projects, Madam Web is the only thing that I'm interested in. And when I say interested, you got to show me. You have to show. I need to see a trailer. I need to see some BTS photos, something. I need to see something that's going to ease my mind about this Madam Web film. I'm still the most excited about it, though. The other shit, I like El fucking Morto. I don't give a shit about. Or the Rhino Sandman buddy cop film. Keep that shit. Craven the Animal Lover. Nah, I don't give a shit. But, you might. So let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking.
Ty Valentine said, I'm looking forward to Madam Web, good or bad.
I am too. I'm all not good or bad. But I'm curious. I want to see what they're doing.
Gray said, skip. D. Steele, that's what he said. D. Steele said, only thing those two have in common is they're both British. Talking about Euphoria right here. Ty Valentine says she's playing a teenager. They're annoying. LOL.
Yeah.
Omega said, feel like Emma Fernman would had deliver more emotional Cassie. Official EMG said Sydney is great in White Lotus, so I think she'll be great here.
Oh, she did play in. I didn't
Cassie,
see it,
but she does great playing her.
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't see White Lotus, but she did play in that.
D. Stiesel said Julian Carpenter is slept on as. I gotta sneeze, Buffalo. What's it called? Buffalo. Ow. Julian Carpenter has slept on it as though she becomes as Spider-Woman. She became Madam Web in the late 2000s.
And that's what we know. That's kind of what we know about this plot of this, is that Julia Carpenter seemingly may become Madam Web at the end of this.
Always appreciate it. Ugh. Cyber Anime Glitches said the only thing I'm looking forward to is Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse is coming. We're going to talk about Spider-Verse too. Spider-Verse is coming. We have a lot of things coming with Spider-Man. There's some Spider-Man news to get into.
Zang Beto said skip, not interested in most Spidey spin-offs.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Zang Beto, because most Spidey spin-offs, fucking Spider-Man's not in them. So I don't blame you. I don't blame you for not being interested in that shit. It's like if I go, pay to go see the Warriors, we all know why I'm going. It's to see Steph. The others are great. Yay. I'm there for Wardell. I'm not there for anything else.
Steven Jenkins said concept for Madam Web is kind of interesting, but it is still Sony.
It is still Sony, and we know Sony is going to Sony.
Omega said I can't wait for El Muerto. This has to be a masterpiece, better than Avengers movies.
Oh, you know it. Fucking Bad Bunny's going to he's going to bring it.
Yeah.
Is he gonna throw cameras with the cameras in front of him?
That shit's funny. Omega said, Darius, how about the new Pokemon anime trailer yesterday? They revealed the new girl protagonist replacing Ash. Anime coming this April.
Oh, they're replacing Ash?
Yeah,
I don't know that I'm interested.
Whenever, that Ash won the tournament.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's whenever my interest ended.
I'm
no longer continuing with Pokemon.
I would have to say...
Because it's going to take another fucking 50-year journey like that, and I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I don't know that I don't know that I care if Ash is not the one.
Raymond said, if I'm going to a Warriors game, I'm going to see Aisha. If she ain't there, keep it. Raptor Cloak said, Sony cuts too many corners for this guy to care about anything outside Spider-Verse. and could easily have used Andrew Garfield's version as their star if they hadn't drove him away.
Yeah.
Hungry Almighty said, "Tell me I'm not the only one who thought when they heard El Muerto, we thought that's the wrestler that Peter faced when he was trying to make money using his powers before he became Spider-Man."
Yes.
A couple more. Sir Yuri G said, "The only thing I'm interested in seeing Madam Web is seeing how Ezekiel will be."
Yeah, and that's, we talked about how Ezekiel Sims is going to be rumored to be the villain, rather. So we'll see how that goes as well.
Ant-Man said, "Spider-Verse is the only thing that's keeping Sony afloat. All the other films have been mostly trash. The only movies I've seen is Venom 1 and 2.
Yeah, Venom's
not great.
No,
it's just
fun.
I was about to say it's just enjoyable.
Yeah, it's fun.
If you want to watch Venom. Mega said, "Didn't Dakota and Andrew have an interview together before?"
Who was supposed to be playing Mary Jane? Dakota? Is that what we were talking about? Yeah. Was she supposed to play Mary Jane? I think they did. If that's who we're talking about, I believe they did.
I'm caught up on most of them, though. The Jinx said, "Have you seen CW's The Flash Show and Red Death, played by former Batwoman, giving the cringiest performance? The clips of her performance is hilarious." I stopped watching the CW's Flash at like season after Savitar. Shit started getting bad.
Hand me 2 AAA batteries out of the top of the closet.
Gotcha.
I think my fucking keyboard just died. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm trying to see which Dakota this is. I'm sorry. It's always fucking technical difficulties. Gracias. Okay. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, they did do an interview. It just literally popped up. January 18, 2022, Vanity Fair. Reunite after 11 years.
Cyber Anime said, "Supposedly Andrew Garfield turned down Sony offer being their Spider-Man or something like that."
Who turned down? He said who turned it down?
Andrew turned down Sony's offer of being Spider-Man.
That is the rumor. But he also said that he would come back if it's right. If it's for the right thing. I tell you what, if Sony wants to make all the money, you put him in Venom 3. You want to put asses in the seats, you put him in Venom 3. I guarantee you put Andrew Garfield in Venom 3, it easily makes $1 billion. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
It easily makes $1 billion.
Bro, Morbius was finna fucking make money.
It was.
I can't say $1 billion, but it was finna make money.
It had my money.
I had our whole channel's money.
Yeah.
Not everyone in the comments and everything, but we were all interested to see what that's going for him. It's not because Venom's good though; it's because it's Venom.
Right. It's because it is Venom that's why it's good. I would say, especially that first film making what it made. Now look at the box office for that second film. I don't believe that second one came as close to the first one. I don't believe. Now, granted, I was not deep diving into the second film either because I didn't give a fuck after I watched it. That doesn't mean that I hate it. It's just not one that I, when sitting down with a group of people, say, pop on that Venom 2. It's just something that if it's on, I might watch.
Sir Your Juice said, "I still haven't seen Venom 2 or Morbius, and I don't plan on it."
Yeah, I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't. I definitely am not watching Morbius. We all know that. I will never view that film. So I was lied to, and I'm still hurt. Okay, we'll move on here to the next topic. Next topic we're going to move on to is going to be, apparently we talked about some of this. Well, not this particularly. We talked about a couple months ago. Well, I won't even say a couple months ago. Maybe it was. We talked about Michael Keaton's rumored Batman Beyond film being canceled. And that was something that the new regime under Peter Safran and James Gunn came in and axed. And it was a live action film that was going to, again, involve Michael Keaton's Batman as, obviously, Bruce. And then we were going to get our first version of a live action Terry. But that ended up not happening. Well, looks like we may be getting a animated Batman Beyond film that could fall in the DCU Elseworld type shit. This is coming from the Direct. This is what the Direct had to say about it. They said new details have reportedly been revealed regarding an animated Batman Beyond movie. This was commissioned at DC and Warner Brothers. Back in the 90s, DC created Batman Beyond for Cartoon Network as a sequel to Batman the Animated Series that starred an older Bruce as he trained the teenage Terry McGinnis to take over his former mantle in a futuristic Gotham City. Years later, when Michael Keaton was once poised to replace Ben Affleck as the DCU's Batman after The Flash, Warner Brothers was developing a live-action Batman Beyond flick starring the 71-year-old actor that has since been canceled, which they need to bring back. Now, this is coming from Jeff Snyder. This is where this rumor is coming from, because, again, like I said, we've talked about the Batman stuff that they mentioned up top earlier. So I think Jeff was one of the ones that leaked that stuff, that it was canceled. So this is Jeff again going on with things that he knows. Jeff Snyder discussed an animated Batman Beyond movie that DC once commissioned under the leadership of Walter Hamada, who served as DC's film president from January 2018 to October 2022. As of now, the project remains in development under DC Studios co-CEOs James Gunn and Peter Safran, and none of the team has been told otherwise. However, Snyder clarified development could still be paused or canceled if it doesn't fit into the new regime's cohesive plans for the DC franchise. Fast and Furious 9 writer Daniel Casey has written multiple drafts of the Batman Beyond movie, which was intended as DC's answer to Sony and Marvel's Into the Spider-Verse, which, bro, I love Batman Beyond. That could have been dope. Which has proven to be critical and financial hit. The GWW initially revealed the project to be in development in January 2019. Although Snyder's scoop offered the first confirmation of Cassie's involvement and that the animated movie currently remains in development 4 years later. The animated project was said to be separate from the live-action Batman Beyond movie written by Christina Hodson that was planned to star Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne, but was later canceled by James Gunn and Peter Safran. Snyder's report. It's so annoying. Well, no. Will Batman Beyond movie survive James Gunn's DC cancellation? Since James Gunn and Peter Safran took over DC Studios, the pair have truly taken an axe to DC's arsenal of projects that were in development. This has included canceling movies and putting an end to shows that were in the works under the old regime and don't fit with their vision of DC. That being said, DC Studios will still be pushing ahead with an Elseworlds umbrella for projects that they want to make but don't fit into their DC plans. As of now, DC Studios has only confirmed 3 Elseworld projects, although there will likely be far more to emerge down the line. Gunn already made it clear for the Elseworld projects in development that the quality bar will be higher than the bar for something in the DCU. Then he goes on to say, so in order for Batman Beyond to stand a chance, despite the fact it probably doesn't fit into James Gunn's DC plan, Daniel Casey's script will have to be truly spectacular, although the fact the movie doesn't seem to have been canceled yet after 4 months of Gunn's leadership offers a glimpse of hope. Sony and Marvel have found great success both critically and financially with the Spider-Verse franchise. Walter Hamada's DC clearly had aspirations to replicate that success by similarly having an older take on a famous hero mentor his younger successor in animation. Only time will tell whether Gunn and Safran see the vision too, but how well Across the Spider-Verse performs for Sony may be a factor, but ultimately that decision will probably come down to whether the script is strong enough to justify investing in it as one of the few Elseworld projects as setting a as setting a far future story in the main DCU would only serve to limit what Gunn can do with Batman. DC has yet to officially announce the plans for Batman Beyond. So that when it was announced, when I heard this, I was thinking to myself, okay, this would be really, really dope because it could possibly be, like I said, like they said, an answer to Across the Spider-Verse. This is why, well, not that. With animation, with the way animation is today, you take a futuristic Gotham, you take Batman Beyond, make it like an Arcane type style animation, make it like a that could be really dope. That could be really dope. And I've talked about this before. I really loved Batman Beyond. I've loved Terry McGinnis. I think that it's such a cool character. I would have loved to have seen something like this in live action. But even in that Elseworlds conversation, James Gunn did talk about, well, I'm sorry, he didn't talk about. The Rock came out and said after all the coup that he tried to stage on Warner Brothers, he came out and and said that after speaking with Peter Safran and James Gunn, that there is the possibility for him to make a return as Black Adam within the multiverse. Is it possible, and this is just a question, is it possible that we could be seeing Terry McGinnis still show up in DC live action maybe within their multiversal stuff? Because if you take yourself back to the animated series, there is that whole time traveling multiversal I want to say it was like a 2-part episode where it involved Static Shock. It involved older Bruce from obviously the futuristic Gotham, but it also involved young Batman from the Justice League. It was the Justice League animated series that they met. They met the League from the Justice League animated series because it all connected. Could we see something like that where it is a multiversal deal? Because I still believe, even though Gunn didn't mention anything about it, I don't believe it's in their first phase, obviously, but they're going to eventually get to Crisis, and if they eventually do get to Crisis, could we be seeing Batman Beyond? Could we be seeing some of these other Batmen show up, like maybe Affleck's Batman coming back, things like that. I don't know, it's interesting. I really love this character. I really love the movie. Even my favorite villain of all time is the Joker. You guys know that, and Joker showing up, coming back, and Joker Returns for Batman Beyond is by far one of the coolest things that they did with Batman Beyond. I really like this. I hope that it does happen. And again, according to Jeff, it's still in the works. According to Jeff, it's still in the works. So maybe we do see Batman Beyond. Maybe we see Terry and some, make that comeback and with some new animation styles or whatever. Don't know. Something I do want to see though.
Yeah, I would definitely say, as far as it goes to DC, I would just want them to not make this their main priority.
Yeah.
I want them to focus on everything they're doing, and then once they get a good live action, and then once they get a good animated series and they know they're doing it right, then they go ahead and do it. Because as much as I want them to make an animated series, or even if it's a live action, because I saw, I think it was Omega saying they wanted a live action more. Whatever it is, as long as when we do get a Batman Beyond movie, I want it to be good, and I want it to be I want them to take their time on it. I don't want them to get to it and be like, okay, we know fans want this, we know we can make money with this, and we know we have a whole new slate, and let's just say they get out 1 or 2 good projects. It's then they do it, it's I feel like it might be rushed. It's let's take your time on the slate, get through the things you have announced, and then while you're doing this, put that somewhere on the schedule where you're like, okay, now we can plan for this. Even if it is in Elseworlds and doesn't affect anything, we can take time and actually locate it towards this and not have to we're doing all this, but now we want to do Batman Beyond as well. So let's try and plug it in somewhere. It's no, find its own time for it and then solidify that. But I mean, as to everything you said with the multiverse, I mean, that's why I'm pretty sure that's why a lot of fans are fans of comic books and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just to see different iterations of different characters from different writers. I'm sure we all have characters where we like them written by someone and don't like them written by someone else. And so it's just always cool seeing different variations of the same character interact with themselves and other people. And it's just it's a big part of comic books. So I'm sure everyone's ready to get to something like that. But that would be huge if they did it.
No,
brought everyone together for something like that. Because I mean, as much as we talk about it with Marvel, I mean, I think
DC can get it right.
DC is crazy.
Shit. If DC could get that right, my God. Like I said, I really love Terry. I really hope that this is something we do get to see. Not just for the reasons of all for those reasons. I want to see a futuristic Gotham live action. I think that would be so dope. But I'm very hype on an animated. I honestly would choose for them to do an animated movie before I would choose for them to do a live action movie. And the only reason I say that is because DC handles animation so well. They handle it so very well. And a new, rebooting rather,
So
Batman Beyond would be dope.
The Bold thing?
The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a live action?
That's live action.
Okay. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that one's live action. And that's actually, we're about to get on that one. But, as always, question is for you guys. Let us know down below in the comments and save the comments because this is another Batman topic. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking of Batman Beyond. With the rumor coming from Jeff Snyder that we're going to be getting a new Batman Beyond animated movie. And do you think that that's something that's still in the works? Is it something that you guys want to see? Would you have preferred to have seen the Michael Keaton live action version of this? Were you a fan of the show? I feel like Batman is akin to Spider-Man in the DCU. He puts asses in the seats regardless of it being Terry McGinnis or Bruce Wayne. But you guys, let me know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking. Okay, we're going to save those comments. You go ahead and comment if you want, but we're going to save that because the next topic is still akin to Batman. So we're going to move to that. This is James Gunn, and I've talked about James Gunn quite a bit as far as I want him to stay the fuck off Twitter. And not because... I'll get to why in just a minute, and I'll show you why because it's within this article. We all know that one of the DC upcoming movies coming from the 10-year or the slate that Gunn released a couple weeks ago is Brave and the Bold, and that is the Batman film. And it's going to have, obviously, Damian Wayne in it, and that's something I'm super excited. It's my most anticipated. It's my most anticipated thing that he shared. But one of the things that they talked about after the whole announcement that Henry Cavill was not coming back, and then once we got the announcement that Black Adam wasn't coming back, and they shared everything else they shared, one of the things that James Gunn talked about was that they did want Ben Affleck to come and direct a film. What film that was going to be, they did not know. X, Y, and Z. A lot of people were speculating that it would be a Batman film, and the speculation is around right now that Gunn and Peter Safran are wanting Ben Affleck to direct Brave and the Bold. And if that is true, if they do want him to direct Brave and the Bold, I don't know that he would want to. And the reason I say I don't know what he would want to, because if Ben Affleck does direct the Batman film, which I am all for him doing, directing that Batman film, but if he does direct that Batman film, I bet you he's going to want it to be akin to what he originally wrote, which I would love to see, which is that whole Deathstroke thing. So I don't think he had any involvement with Damian or anything like that, but maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But this is what Screen Rant is having to say about it. They said, following recent rumors of Ben Affleck directing Batman Brave and the Bold, DC Studios and CEO James Gunn responds to reports a new Batman reboot is in the works at DC Studios as the DCEU is reaching its end this year. While Ben Affleck will appear in the Flash movie, a new Dark Knight will take over for him in the DC universe. Gunn and Peter Safran announced in January of this year that The Brave and the Bold is one of their major DC films in the works. While it appears Affleck won't be donning the costume again, Gunn has confirmed that they are hoping to have him direct a DC Universe project. With Gunn and Affleck looking for a project that fits the former Dark Knight, many have wondered if The Brave and the Bold could be an option. A recent rumor surfaced online that Affleck is reportedly being eyed to helm the new Batman movie. Well, I'm going to let you guys see here. This is a tweet that Gunn received. So, can I click on this? Good, I can. Let's have this take me to Twitter really quick. So, Twitter user, I'm assuming that's Star Wars _fan 1000, SW _fan 1000, tweeted to... I see what it did. Okay. Tweeted to... I still fucked that up. Sorry. All right. So he tweeted to James Gunn, and obviously One Take News that shared this information about Ben Affleck possibly coming back to direct. He said, didn't Gunn say in a previous interview that Affleck's not directing Brave and the Bold? I get that Gunn is something of a professional liar, but still. To where James Gunn replied, for years it's been my commitment to the fans that I will never lie to them, and I never have. I'd be very curious about what it is you think I've lied about. Here's the issue. Why are you curious, James? This is a rant. His username is SW_fan1000. How many subscribers? How many followers does he have? He's got 1,000. He's got 1,700 and... I'm sorry, that's 1,173 followers. Why are you curious, James? Why does it fucking matter what SW fan 1,000 thinks?
The nigga might as well ask us.
Right, like why does it matter what he thinks? This is what I've said over and over about James Gunn being on Twitter. Why he's constantly talking back with irrelevant people. I would much rather James Gunn be focused on the projects at hand. My brother, you said that you're directing Superman and you're writing it. You being on Twitter arguing with SW_fan1000 does not ensure my faith in you directing Superman, because it's showing me that, again, he's on Twitter too much. Why do you have this much time? Why do you have this much time? Why do you have this much time to be arguing with nobody's on Twitter? Your mileage may vary, because some people like the fact that some people wish Kevin Feige would do this. I don't want, because then it would show me again that why are you on? If Kevin Feige was to do this in the current state of Marvel,
man, you need to get your shit in order.
Yeah, you need to get your shit together instead of being on Twitter arguing, motherfuckers. Like, what? And with the current state of DC, what you got some people that are really looking forward to this. You got some people that are like, I'm interested. You got some people that are on the rocks with it. Then you got the Snyder fans that are like, fuck it. All that mixed pot, you need to make sure that you are delivering a masterpiece. You need to make sure that since you are killing the current iteration of DC, this new birth is going to be astronomically amazing. Like you can't you arguing with people on Twitter, but anyway, SW fan did reply to what he said, and he replied to him with a plethora of screenshots where James Gunn has lied. And he said not wanting to run DC and not wanting to make Superman film for starters. So when James Gunn said, I'd be curious as to what I lied about, he said, well, not wanting to run DC, you lied about that, and look, you're running DC, and not wanting to make Superman film. Well, here you are now making a Superman film. And again, all this other shit that he took the time to go and screenshot. This one's from his fucking Instagram story.
That's what we need to do with Nate Moore, man.
Honestly. He's arguing with him here to where James Gunn did reply to this. Hold on. Gunn replied and said, neither of those were lies. I was offered Superman but did Squad instead. A few years later, I saw how to tackle Superman and took it on. I didn't want to be a sole CEO of DC, but when they came and offered it to me and Peter, I said yes because I could focus on the creative side. Again, this is too much information for SW_fan1000.
Just giving the whole explanation to him.
And you're explaining yourself to him.
That ass could be a 16-year-old, an
84-year-old,
a 32, just a random ass casual.
Yeah, bro. It's and then he
like in a sense the nigga's responding to me.
Honestly, like it's like this is an irrelevant nobody that James Gunn is putting all his putting all his energy towards. Then he said again, I've never once lied to the fans and never will. That doesn't mean I'm never going to change my mind about anything. But James, you don't have to explain that. If I'm the CEO of DC, I'm not explaining shit to none of y'all. I'm giving you my slate. I'm going to give you my slate. I'm going to lay out what we've got coming. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, see ya. I don't get fuck it. I don't give a fuck. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. That's that shit that's weird to me when you say you don't care, but yet here you are. That shit is so weird to me. And then the last thing, the dude goes on to say, so it was a lie when you said you'd support the release of the Ayers cut, which is the other squad cut, because there's been nothing on that since you took over, and I remember you saying you'd support it. Irrelevant. It just
was getting pressed.
He was getting pressed. But the thing
that's the situations he gonna find himself in.
Especially when you're replying to everyone.
You keep it's almost like, I mean, I did bring up Nate Moore, but it's almost like Nate Moore. You know, you keep giving out all these random ass statements. Eventually, you're gonna find yourself just in a circle of contradicting yourself.
Yeah, bro.
Whether you meant to or not, it's just the cycle of social media. Honestly. Yeah. You say it 2 years ago, niggas gonna have that screenshot.
That's true.
The second you break that opinion of 2 years ago, you are a liar. Like,
that's
it's just the way it looks.
That's true. I mean, no, never mind. I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not using names. I don't want. Never mind. Fuck that thought. But then this last part came from, it's still from Screen Rant, them following up. It says, while Gunn has addressed several rumors before, the DC Studios co-head rightfully called out a user that referred to him as a liar if the rumors are true. Given that it was previously thought that Affleck would not, in fact, direct The Brave and the Bold, the filmmaker addressed that he's always worked hard to never lie to fans, and he never plans to. Gunn stressed that he could always change his mind on something, which could include Affleck being hired for The Brave and the Bold, without being a liar. Gunn made this response due to a Twitter thread, that had a different and baseless accusation by a user, but the logic, of course, could apply to other decisions as well. And the last thing it says is The Brave and the Bold would be coming full circle moment for Affleck, as he was initially set to direct the Batman film of his own. The film would have had Affleck work in front and behind the cameras for the DCEU installment. But in the end, The Batman became a reboot for Robert Pattinson, with director Matt Reeves at the helm. If Brave and the Bold isn't the DC Universe movie that Affleck will direct, there are other options for him. So we could see Affleck directing Brave and the Bold. Would you want to even see Affleck directing Brave and the Bold? With him being my favorite Batman, and I know that's people say, "Oh God, how do you like that?" He's my favorite Batman. Christian Bale gave me nothing. Robert Pattinson was just vengeance, and I don't know. I like Robert Pattinson's Batman, but he's not my favorite Batman. Ben Affleck is my favorite. But I think because of his love for Batman, and because he is a good director, I think he could possibly really deliver a good Brave and the Bold film. I just, however, don't know if he is going to be directing this. I'm not sure. This is still a rumor. Nothing's been confirmed by Gunn. I mean, in that thread, he said nothing that confirmed that. Nothing's been confirmed by Warner Brothers or Ben Affleck himself. So it's a waiting game to see. And not only that, Brave and the Bold is that will probably be announced first, as far as like. Well, when I say announce first, I mean is anything involving Brave and the Bold. The first thing that they're going to announce is who's directing it before we start hearing about cast, before we start hearing about plot, before any of that stuff. They're going to announce who's directing it. So, and not only that, it's still 2 years away. I think it comes in 2025. I think so. We still have a while, but I wouldn't mind seeing Affleck direct this at all. But guys, as always. Question is for you. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking about Affleck directing Brave and the Bold. Are you looking forward to Brave and the Bold? For me, as I said, it is my most anticipated. And what do you guys think? And we've talked about this before, but what do you think about James Gunn's constant talking on Twitter, constantly explaining himself to fans like SW_fan1000, fans that are irrelevant, people that have sometimes 93 subscribers, people that have 93 followers, or in this person's case,
I'll tell you what's
1173. Yeah. Yeah. So let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking.
D. Steele said, Ben's the best Batman in some not so good films. I need top tier films.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
JD said, I agree. Ben has been the best Batman so far.
Yeah. And let's touch the super chat and appreciate you for that as well.
Oh, Latrell, thank you. We appreciate it. He said, finally able to catch you brothers live, showing y'all love all the way from Detroit.
Brother, that is so much appreciated.
That mean a lot.
Thank you so very much. We appreciate you being here. I'm so glad you finally got to catch it live. Appreciate that super chat and appreciate the kind words.
Gray said, I hope these projects are well in the development process than they're letting us in on.
Yeah.
James Gunn needs an angry translator or a burner account.
Yeah, because him doing it, I feel like his time would be better spent.
Be real with D-Real said Ben Affleck nailed Bat's appearance wise.
Wait, said what now? Say it one more time.
B-Real said Ben Affleck nailed Bat's appearance wise.
Yeah, I thought so too. Like him as Batman, I thought it was great, bro. Like I really liked him as Batman. I really did.
Sir Yuri G said, I feel Affleck would be a good director for Batman because he knows the character.
That's kind of what I was saying there. Like, because he loves his character so much, he does know the character of Batman, Bruce. That could be the thing that makes him want to do it. I don't know. I just feel like maybe he doesn't. Maybe he has no ties to that script he wrote, the story he wrote. Maybe he can let it die. I don't know. We'll see though.
Xavier Phoenix said, if you got time to tweet, then you got time to focus on making DC great.
Yeah.
That means anyone can get at it with me saying, like, or him responding to people with, like, 1,000 followers and shit. Yeah. Raymond said, James Gunn ain't paying enough attention to that Superman script. That's how I know it'll be awful. That man stays on Twitter too much.
He does stay on Twitter too much. And again, I am so looking forward to, well, let me put it this way. Let me rephrase that. I am very, very optimistically curious for the Superman film. I just want to know, is he dancing? Is he cracking jokes? Like, what is Kal-El doing in this film?
Sir Yuri said, I'm telling you, Gunn is Warner Brothers' version of KD. LOL.
That's funny.
D. Steele said, Nolan's Batman had the weakest one-note fighting style. Bat should incorporate multiple fighting styles.
Yes, that's what I said. Christian Bale did nothing for me as Batman.
Omega said, Snyder confirmed Batman vs. Superman set after Dick Grayson killed by Joker. I think for Batman vs. Superman, even for Ultimate Cut, would have received better if they had Dick Grayson died in the opening instead of little Bruce Fall.
You know what? I'll agree with you there too. I'll agree on that. You know, have some stakes for the film. Get some people, you know, that for comic book fans especially, seeing Joker actually kill Dick, that
yeah.
Or I'm sorry, not Dick, but Jason. That would have been dope. He kills Jason in Death in the Family. It's not Dick, because Dick's Nightwing. It's Jason Todd.
Yeah, it is Todd.
Yeah, it's Jason Todd in Death in the Family.
Oh. Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's Jason.
Yeah, it's Todd.
Yeah, it's Jason. Oh, so maybe were they gonna switch it up and use Dick? Pause. Okay. The next one.
You're watching too much Boondocks. Pause.
Pause again. That episode.
You keep saying pause, I'm gonna no homo your ass.
It's one of my favorite shows, man. I love fucking Boondocks.
Raymond said, I'm not optimistic. We're gonna get a Saturday Night Live Superman in the movie. D. Steele said, Bat's getting whooped by the Joker and 2 Rottweilers ain't it.
No.
Sir Yuri G said, that motherfucker fought with his elbow. Oh, man. Omega said after that last comment, he said that will explain why Batman was killing everyone and went brutal if Dick Grayson had died.
No. That's the only thing I didn't like about their Batman. The guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was a little...
Yeah, I didn't like the little guns and all that.
Grace said Nolan incorporated the Kisi fighting method, which is simply an
amalgamate. I know the word.
Amalgamation of Muay Thai and Krav Maga. Batman knows every discipline of martial arts.
This is true.
Omega said, Darius, didn't you check out the Batgirl leaked trailer?
I did. When it dropped, what was that? That was a while ago, though. They were right in canceling it. They were right in canceling it. I didn't even, to be honest, remember when we showed the video of who was the villain in that shit? Hold on, somebody's gonna beat me to it. Firefly. That's who I thought it was. Okay, so Firefly was the villain, and when we showed the video of Firefly, I didn't like that video I saw. When it was I forgot who was supposed to be playing him. George the Jungle, whatever his fucking name, I forget his name. On top of the, what was that? The bus shooting. I didn't like that. I didn't like it.
I'm trying to think if I was here for that.
The only thing, I think you were. The only thing that I did like from the Batgirl stuff that we saw was the behind the scenes Michael Keaton shit.
Yeah.
The pictures of him and back in the suit. I was like, oh, that's cool. And
I remember that.
And the mural that they had painted that was going to be in the film. It showed Batman and Robin, which indicated that Keaton's Batman throughout time did eventually obviously get to. Well, we saw Keaton. Well, yeah, get to his Robin. So, yeah, no, I did see it though. It just, and Peter Safran said it was good that they canceled it because it not only would have hurt DC. Because think about it. Let's say they put that out and it was trash. DC fans were already in a muddy position. They would have been like, "Oh, this is just more on par with the shit we're getting from DC. It's more of the same." And that also, like Peter Safran said, would have also hurt the actors and actresses and directors and everything involved, because it's like, why put out a project that blah 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 blah. Peter Safran said it was not, what was the wording he used? It was not viewable.
A couple more said. Be Real said Bat's fight with Lex Luthor's thugs while saving Martha was the best thing in Batman vs Superman.
Oh yeah, yeah. The beginning.
Yeah.
The very beginning. That shit was dope.
I don't even like any of those movies.
I don't like Batman vs Superman, but there are parts that I was
about to say,
like.
there's scenes I go back and watch, but that's really it. I can't go back and watch those whole movies.
Yeah, there's scenes that I like, but no.
D. Steezel said it's the same problem I have with Hughes Wolverine. Logan should be a master martial artist, but that's never been showcased.
That's true too. It has not.
Yeah, I can agree with that one.
It has not.
J-Rob said Batfleck was on point. He was just mishandled. Snyder killed off Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
And then last one, Omega Zero said Ray Fisher Cyborg is the only Snyder Justice League member who doesn't appear more than 2 projects, unlike his other fellow multiple appearance cameos in movies and TV shows.
And I want to say, wasn't that due to the drama, behind the scenes drama with Ray and Warner Brothers? I believe so. But we'll move here to the next topic. Next topic is going to be the final topic, but it is Spider-Man. There's some Spider-Man news that we need to talk about. And in this news, well, let me move this here. In this news that we're going to talk about, this is Spider-Verse stuff. There's some... Now first, before we jump into this, if you've been here since day one, go back to our very first video. Our very first video was a Spider-Man video.
Literally day one.
Our very first video was a Spider-Man video. Go back. And if you watch any of us, anytime we ever talked about Spider-Man, I had my theory. Remember my theory? about all this shit connecting into the Spider-Verse, what Across the Spider-Verse was going to be, breaking the Spider-Verse, the part 3 of it, Spider-Geddon, how this shit's going to tie into Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. My shit's coming together. At first, I kind of got discouraged when Sony was like, when all that shit was coming out with that, Sony may not be trying to connect their shit in Secret Wars. I was like, well, there goes my theory. Never mind. Fuck it. We're not getting, blah, blah, blah. No. It might actually be happening. So, this was tweeted by Doctor Strange Updates, but this is coming from Daniel RPK. So, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse will directly reference the events of No Way Home. According to Daniel RPK, the characters will reference that something bad happened to the multiverse due to a certain event and the mess that Doctor Strange and the nerdy kid caused. And to me, that is super dope, and that's dope because they are referencing No Way Home in a Spider-Man film, or in Across the Spider-Verse. Not only are they referencing No Way Home,
it connects.
Yeah, it connects. They are talking. They're specifically going. If they say if that's true, and they say Doctor Strange's name, they've officially connected to the MCU. This film officially connects to the MCU, because how else would they know about the events of No Way Home, everything like that, blah, blah, blah. We even talked about a couple months ago. Now, everyone's talking about it now. Again, that's why I say, if you are new here and if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, you fucking subscribe. We cover shit before the mainstream media covers shit, because we cover leaks and rumors. And one of the things that we talked about a couple months ago was Tom Holland showing up in Across the Spider-Verse. We even showed the animated mock-up picture that they made of him. And it's seeming like that's somewhat going to be true. I want to make sure I'm getting my notes right here. Jeff Snyder said a couple weeks ago that one of the reasons that the film was delayed was so that Sony could get Tom Holland into the film. Because if you remember, this was pushed back a little bit, but it was pushed back so possibly that they could do some voice recording with Tom, get him in there, blah, 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 blah. Because what was he doing? What was he working on? Oh, no. He just said he took that break. He was just taking that break. So,
yeah,
like I said, I think it's really cool that they are referencing No Way Home. The theory that I've always had with this thing is that I always thought that this was my theory. I thought that Miles's universe, just like in Secret Wars, was going to be the universe that collided with our universe, bringing Miles into the MCU proper, making him live action, after already meeting Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Across the Spider-Verse. So that way on Battleworld, Secret, whatever it is they do in the MCU, they already know each other from meeting each other in Across the Spider-Verse. The rumor is also that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man were also supposed to make appearances in Across the Spider-Verse. Or maybe, I think that may be the third part, not the second one. In one of the films for Across the Spider-Verse, or Spider-Verse films. We also know that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are showing up in Kang Dynasty, not just as cameos. We also know that Sony's Madam Web stuff is connecting with the Across the Spider-Verse stuff. And if that is connecting with the Across the Spider-Verse stuff, and we know that it connects to now the MCU with the reference of No Way Home, Doctor Strange, and the nerdy kid, we also heard, last week, that the MCU is looking to have Tom Holland, Spider-Man, lead the Avengers, which is a little weird to me at first, but as I got to thinking about it, I'm thinking, I still don't know I still don't want him to be a leader of the Avengers, but it makes sense for him to be one of the important parts. Why? Because of the spider sense. This is just a what if, I don't know. What if Spider-Man being such a key, important, I saw people having a conversation about this on Twitter, and it had got me thinking a little bit more on it. But if Spider-Man is a key, important part to figuring Kang out, because of the spider sense. What if the Kangs, the Council of Kangs, or the Kang, every time that they change something in the multiverse, or they change something within a timeline, Spider-Man feels it. He senses it. He gets his Peter tingle goes off, or whatever. And then you add Madam Web into that. Madam Web having the web of life, web destiny, all that stuff, being able to see across the multiverse. What if that's added into Kang Dynasty? It's not just Kang Dynasty, but Secret Wars and everything like that. What if that is a way for the different spider totems, like Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Miles Morales, Tom Holland Spider-Man, to be able to get the upper hand on Kang? Because you're going to have, again, Madam Web, who can see the multiverse. You're going to have Spider-Man, who has his Peter Tingle. I hate calling it that. What is it normally called? Just this Spider Sense? Yeah. I don't like calling it the Peter Tingles.
Senses.
So, yeah, it's seeming like more like... a lot of the speculation, it's changed my theory a little bit, because some of the things I thought have kind of changed with some of the new information that's come out. But I really think that all of this, and again, I could be being too hopeful, because in order for something like this to happen, I mean, we're getting the mentions of Doctor Strange, Daniel RPK. That would mean that Sony and Marvel would have to have an out of this world, like they've never done before, type of communication, planning all this stuff out. And again, when we talked about this stuff middle of this past year, we had talked about Kevin Feige being involved with the stuff going on at Sony so that he could ensure that it connected correctly with the stuff going on in the MCU. Because you take the Morbius film, I don't think any of that shit matters. I don't think they're using those post-credit scenes to have any validity moving forward in the MCU, because none of that shit ever made sense. Like when Vulture just showed up and said, I don't know why I'm here, but I think it has something to do with Spider-Man. Why you thought that? I don't know. So it's like, I don't know. I'm interested. I'm excited. I do want to see a lot of the shit with Spider-Man. Obviously being one of my favorite Marvel characters, a lot of people's favorite Marvel characters. But Across the Spider-Verse is going to be a game changer if it really does connect to the MCU proper.
Yeah. No, that would be huge. And especially because not only, like you said, does it bring in Miles, but it's also kind of establishing that we are going to get Andrew and Toby and kind of everyone when we get to Secret Wars and everything. But it's like, like you said, it depends on the communication with Sony, but at the end of the day, that's something that's kind of unexpected and kind of crazy.
Right.
And it would make a lot of money. So I wouldn't put it past Sony or Marvel to be talking about stuff like this. But the thing that kind of interests me is that if this movie does go ahead and talk about Doctor Strange and everything, that kind of lets me know this shit is planned. I don't think they made No Way Home, and then they were like, okay, because the thing is, Into the Spider-Verse, the first movie did so well, they weren't thinking, let's base the second one off anything. Let's base the second one off something that might happen in No Way Home. They had their script for the second and third one. And so it's like, I really think they communicated prior, or Feige, like, talked to whoever's in charge. I forgot her name at Sony or whatever. But they talked and everything, and it's like,
Amy
Pascal. Let's have all this connect, but let's talk about it early so that when the time comes in 4 or 5 years, we're not rushing and plugging, and there's plot holes and there's shit that doesn't make sense. So I mean, it's little things. We always talk about it's the little things, and so if they do go ahead and decide to mention Doctor Strange's name, it's confirmation that this is something they've been building. It's not the fact that,
thank you, JD.
Thank you, JD. We appreciate it
so very much. Another 20 spot.
You're not saying anything, just supporting us all night. We appreciate it. letting us know you still here.
Appreciate it.
No, but it kind of just lets me know, it's like, how much do we think that they've discussed this? Because yeah, it's like, we know they talk, because at the same time, we know Feige has Tom Holland, and we know that that's always going to be... Marvel and Sony, they have to work together. We just know they have to. And so because of that, it's like, how much have they discussed? And are we finally at the point where Sony's like, let's start letting Marvel makes us money. If Feige asks us for something, it's probably going to benefit us.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Double Tar.
Appreciate
But it's like,
that,
it's
bro.
probably going to benefit us. So let's hear Feige out. And so it's like, how much of that do we think is actually going on?
I don't know, too, because we've talked about that in the past, too. We've talked about, is Sony ever going to just play nice? Or in a perfect world, Sony just gives him back to Marvel or lets Marvel buy him from them because he would be much better off in their hands than with, not being used at all by Sony. So I don't know. I do believe, though, that these conversations have been had. I would even say, though, I would say that this conversation even took place before No Way Home. I would say that they've sat down with Sony and laid out an idea of what they want to do. Like, okay, Sony, this is what we have planned. This is, these are our plans for Spider-Man. And if you guys are on board with this is what we're wanting to do, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. To where, obviously, Sony believed in it so much that, No Way Home happened. After seeing the success of No Way Home, obviously the success that came from the first Across the Spider-Verse or in Spider-Verse film, looking at those numbers, looking at just everything that both those films did, it's like, okay, we see the plan that you guys are trying to do. Obviously, you're trying to get it to Secret Wars, and if the rumors are true about Sony trying to get their shit to Spider-Geddon, I would think that these conversations have happened. I would think that the meeting rooms that they've been in, this is probably as planned out as anything they've done. As far even like their 10-year shit, I would say that this is because it's Spider-Man. It's not just any character. This is Spider-Man, and they're not stupid. They know Spider-Man puts money in their pockets. How much did No Way Home make? And then how much did it make on $3 weekend? Like it.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I was asking you, simply because it's like, I personally do think these conversations started happening after the first Across the Spider-Verse.
Possibly so.
Just seeing how successful that was, I think Feige was like, 1, I know I'm headed to Secret Wars. 2, I know I need Miles for that. Why would I ask Sony for permission to go cast a whole live-action one when we can work together and bring the one that they're already writing, and at the same time we can go get the other ones that they already have and bring them back? It's like, what they did with No Way Home is honestly a lot bigger than, we were talking about how big it was back then, but we don't really talk about how big it is that they actually did it.
Yeah.
Like we hadn't seen Toby and Andrew on screen in so long, and they actually brought them motherfuckers back for a good movie. Like, all of that looked natural on screen. It didn't look like they've been out of the suit or anything. Like, it looked natural. And so it's like, I think seeing how good they did with that, it's like, yeah, this might not work, but at the same time, why not take that risk? Because of how, at the end, it's not that hard.
No.
But it is, just because you have to explain it to all
Right.
the people who might not know these certain situations that
And
happen.
that's
shit
a good
like
point, too, because, like, this is also a way, for you to explain the spider totems, Sony. If you wanted to do that, you could, to casual viewers, explain how the spider totems work. Explain Madam Web, explain the web of destiny, the web of life, explain how all that works. Web of destiny and life, sorry. The way of how everything works. There's a lot that they can do with this, but even with Kang Dynasty, if he is going to be one of the leading Avenger team leaders, and if the whole theory with the whole, Spider-Man being able to thwart Kang's, know what Kang is doing due to his spider sense, that makes it, the rumor that came from Ember a while ago that Andrew Garfield and Tobey are going to be in Kang Dynasty, it would make sense, because if they figure out that his spider sense, if Kang, every time Kang does something to the timeline or whatever, and his spider sense goes off and he figures that shit out, he could probably be like, wait a minute, typical Tom Holland. Thank you so much, Derailed. That is so very much appreciated, my brother. Thank you so very much.
Much love.
It could be one of those things where Tom's like, whoa. I know 2 other Spider-Men that can help us with this, you know? Like, because what did they say? What did they say before they left in No Way Home? You know where to find us?
Yeah.
Something like that, basically.
That and the way they were all, whenever they had to work on the cures for each of and they were all sitting in the office or the lab working with each other and shit. It's like I can definitely see in the future again, Tom Holland, like every fucking Sam, fucking She-Hulk, whoever it is, everyone's just stumped, and Tom Holland's like, wait, I literally know 2 other Spider-Men, and then boom, that happens. But it's like he knows 3. Because if they meet and into the Spider-Verse,
if they meet into the
it's
Spider-Verse,
like, it's like I know 3 other It's like, it's something crazy to put on screen and just go through that journey again. But it's like, I know we're talking about Spider-Man right now, but that's not the only hero we should be getting this with. Like, we got it in a little bit of Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange, but we should be getting it with Reed. We should be getting it with Wolverine. We should be getting it with, if they decide to do whatever the fuck they're doing with Hulk. we already got it with Kang. And so it's just super exciting to see that they're going to go out on the limb and do Spider-Man specifically because everyone knows Spider-Man, whether you're a comic book fan or not. And it's like, one, I do think that everything you said about Madam Web and the totems deserves to be explained, because it's honestly, when it comes to comic books, the Spider-Man and everything about the way of life and the web of life, it's like, that's probably top 5, top 3, like, detail written characters and just like
it is so damn
character
detailed.
Origin histories of like to Madam Web to Spider-Man just to every other character. It's amazing, and it's something that honestly the average viewer should know about, because it's like, it's cool, it's fun, it's
very comic booky.
Yeah,
it gets you,
and it's not nothing like it's not nothing stressful, or it's like it's just like you said, it's something
Spider-Man.
so fun and comic booky, and it's something that you want to see on screen specifically because it's like, whenever I watch comic book shit, I don't want to be like, because when you read a comic book, you flip to the next page and you read, you're like, okay, I know what's happening. But when I'm watching something, I don't want to be like, I know what's about to happen. I want to be like, okay, this and then that, and then like we always talk about, we want to be making those videos talking about what's happening next, this and that, just talking to each other and shit. And so I mean, the web of life and everything about the Spider origin is something to definitely get conversations going. And the way Marvel's been living, it may not be a bad idea to maybe leech from Sony this time.
If they can establish the Madam Web film and establish Madam Web, like I said, Kang's not the only motherfucker that can see through the multiverse. Madam Web can, and that I feel like that would just be such a tool for that Avengers group, for whatever group is going against Kang. If you have a motherfucker that can sit there and scour the multiverse the same way Kang can,
tell America Chavez to punch through this and that. And it's like the way you can watch that. Like, I'm bringing up America Chavez like anyone gives a fuck about her, but it's like the way you can just watch cool ass characters interact with like who the fuck thought we were gonna be watching like Thor and Rocket be best friends and shit. It's just like little ass shit like that where we get to watch characters that we never thought would interact on screen actually do shit that looks meaningful on screen. And so it's like, I don't see why they wouldn't specifically, because like you said, they need it.
No, they need it.
Like, Marvel needs it. They don't have realistic threats to deal with Kang outside of Spider-Man and like the couple others they have. But I mean, once they have all the it's like a realistic threat of like, I can maybe see this happening. Now, Kang should... 3 Kangs should really... 4, 5... They have hundreds of them. They shouldn't lose right now. Like,
yeah. No, it's like I said, it's fascinatingly interesting what they're... I'm curious. I want to see exactly what they're going to do with... Across the Spider-Verse and its connections to the MCU. I really, truly do hope... Because I know some people, there was that whole rumor that really didn't come from anyone credible, but that whole rumor that Miles was going to show up in Spider-Man 4. I just don't think so. I just don't think so. I'm still sticking with, now I'm going back to my original theory, and that's that Miles is going to show up during this Kang Dynasty Secret War
it kind of makes sense now as I'm breaking everything down in my head, though, because if you think about it, where Tom Holland Spider-Man is at right now, he's kind of in a point of where, like, he could guide, or he can give Miles that advice in a certain situation of need, in a situation of stress. You know, like he just went through Aunt May dying and the shit he went through with all the money. So it's like if he appears in Into the Spider-Verse 2 and gives Miles some advice or whatever like that, that's okay. That's what I'm expecting. And then we go to Spider-Man 4 and he goes and deals with something on his own, no friends or something like that. And then they meet again to where he's like, no, I learn more now. I can teach you even more. It's like we're setting Tom Holland Spider-Man up to be like the Toby, the Andrew, to where like we actually got to go through this whole journey with him though, from where he was Stark's student. Now he's on his own. Now he's going to be Miles' mentor, hopefully, is what I'm imagining.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, we also don't know how much time has passed since No Way Home. And the next time that we do see Spider-Man, time could have passed in a way where, you know, he has been through some other things, matured more and things like that, to where he's ready and able to take on that mentoring role to Miles. But like I said, when we've talked Secret Wars before, Miles is one of those elements that I'm like, okay, these are characters you don't have, but you're trying to do Secret Wars. Like Miles, the Molecule Man, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men. I mean, even members of the Cabal that are not there. You know, not saying that you needed to do Black Swan, but Black Swan, Terrax the Enlightened. There's so many characters that go into Secret Wars. The time runs out, all of that, and Miles is one of those key characters. And so I think that he's going to come in Across the Spider, in Secret Wars, and it may be I hope it's the Miles from the animated stuff, because one of the things that I said many times when I talked about that rumor was it never made sense for Marvel to, like you said earlier, for Marvel to go in and say, let's retell Miles' story. It's already been told, and it was told successfully. Like, there's no reason to recast him. There's no reason to retell that story. Get somebody to play him in live action, but just continue on with the story you've already started showing or telling from the Spider-Verse stuff. That's just my opinion personally, but as always, question is for you guys. Let us know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking of the latest Spider-Man news. What are you guys thinking about what Daniel RPK had to say? What are you thinking about the connections for the Spider-Verse to the MCU? Are you thinking that we're going to see, Madam Web possibly become part of the usage of for the Avengers? Is Tom Holland Spider-Man going to reach out to obviously his other Spider-Man friends from Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, etc.? What are you guys thinking is going on with Spider-Verse? Is Tom Holland actually going to show up? Again, we talked about this a couple months ago, but is he actually going to show up in the film? Let us know all these questions down below in the comments.
J-Rob said, I'm good on Miles, though. I think there are way too many Spider people. Keep Miles animated and keep Peter live action.
I do not want to see a live action Miles Morales. I want to see a live action Miles Morales. The reason I want to see a live action Miles is because Miles is such a dope Spider-Man. Not only that, I want to see a black Spider-Man in live action. I do. I want to see a black live action Spider-Man.
Eagles fan said Doctor Strange is the villain in Kang Dynasty, not Kang. I did hear about that. And I heard that will be a perception thing.
I've not heard it. I've not heard that.
The rumor is in Kang's Dynasty is that Kang's going to be trying to save the multiverse from Doctor Strange creating incursions. And it's kind of going to be like that's like his Thanos' why of like saving the universe.
That shit is so stupid.
Yeah.
And it's stupid because can motherfuckers Disney, if anybody from Disney ever watches, I don't know. Can we get back to villains just being villains for being villains?
Man, like, why do...
Jesus.
Like, man, I want to fuck these niggas up. That's why I'm a villain. Like, I'm a villain because that's just what I am.
Yeah,
there's no
reason. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just an evil motherfucker. Like, I just don't like you bitches.
I'm not looking to be justified.
Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to look on a... I don't want, who's one of the heroes that's about to be in this? Give me a male. Give me a guy. I don't know. I don't want to see another Avenger go to the bathroom and look down on the stall and say Kang was right. Like, I'm sick of that shit. I don't like. No. Like, let these villains just be villains for the sake of being villains. There doesn't have to be a rhyme or reason as to, like, Kang's I'm trying to save the multiverse because one of your teammates is trying to destroy. No, fuck that shit. Yeah. I want to end it because I want to end it because I don't like you motherfuckers. That's what it just needs to come down to. I don't like that. So weird.
Omega said something like, because Geek there. How do you say your name? Geek Ledger.
Yeah, Geek Ledger.
Slap my neck. I can't read. How would y'all want Miles integrated into the MCU if they choose to have Spider-Verse Miles crossover? Would he be animated or would he be live action?
Oh, I definitely don't want a Who Framed Roger Rabbit
animated nigga running around.
No. I would want
Bro,
him.
Imagine if they did that shit.
No. I would have to walk. I'd have to walk. I don't want to see that. I would assume they'd all be smart enough over there to know that they would need to integrate him as live action. That's how I would want him to come in. If he comes in, it's a Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Can you imagine? They're all on a ship or something going in space, and there's just this animated dude running around all this live action shit. No thanks.
Omega said, if Doctor Strange is the real villain of Multiverse and not Kang, then Mr. Fantastic's claims on Strange are right after all.
That's probably why they said it. That's probably why Reed told him the most dangerous thing to the multiverse is you.
Which is stupid, because fucking 616 heroes are always supposed to save the day and shit. They were going to have this nigga fuck something over. And then Omega said, the rest of the comment was, Nakia and M'Baku should have been villains of Black Panther. MCU turned them into heroes is weird. And they killed off T'Challa because actor died, but didn't do the same for Thaddeus Ross.
Read it again, I'm sorry.
Nakia and M'Baku should have been villains of Black Panther. MCU turned them into heroes is weird, and they killed off T'Challa because the actor died, but didn't do the same for Thaddeus Ross.
Yeah, well, Nakia was never a villain in the MCU. That's okay. I mean, we've talked about that, the changing of the MCU stuff that they do, and M'Baku too. I agree with you, Omega. Yep. I mean. Yeah, it's so weird talking about Black Panther stuff. It's so weird because it's like none of it's changing. So it's like we're just talking because they're not changing shit.
Justin Mercado said, I just thought of something. We know in Multiverse of Madness that if a variant spends too much time in another world, it causes an incursion, right? Well, Toby and Andrew were in the MCU for a few days, so technically that means that Peter would have caused an incursion. So he definitely needs to be a big player in Kang's Dynasty and Secret Wars.
And see, we need a better understanding of we need a better understanding of how long does a person have to be in this universe before it causes an incursion in the MCU? What does an incursion look like?
Because how long was Strange in 838?
No,
because he definitely did cause an incursion.
Yeah, he definitely did.
So I'm wondering, how long was that?
I mean, well, let's look at this then too. If we're using that logic, and the reason if we're using that logic, then should Morbius's universe not be destroyed as well, or should Morbius's universe not be coming to destroy ours? How long's Michael Keaton's Vulture been in the Sony universe, in the SSU? I mean, I'm just like, that's why I'm like, they need to explain this shit. They have to do a better job of explaining this shit because there's a lot of loose ends and plot holes that they've not covered.
My fault, I lost it. My fault. There's definitely a couple. Mega said, Tom Spider-Man 2 movies titles are so misleading. Far From Home, but Return to Home. No Way Home, but everyone's returning home except for Peter to pay the rent soon. Sir Yuri G said, I will say this. If they ever add the Mythos of Moreland to a Spidey movie and they do it right, I would definitely see it.
Yeah. I feel like we've talked about Moreland too. I would love to see Moreland. They would have to do him like you said. It would have to be right because you have to explain it to the casual fan. You say Moreland to the casual fan, they're like, who?
William Moloch said America's learning magic. She's finna be a beast. She's gonna show up in Into the Spider-Verse. And what if that is how Tom Holland gets to Miles?
By way of
America? Chavez punching. How else would he?
Madam Web.
But is Madam Web gonna be introduced by the time of Into the Spider-Verse? Is it not much easier if they? I don't know.
You talking about before this one?
Yeah.
No.
Is it not easier if they're gonna mention Doctor Strange? Does this not all?
I mean, she is at Comertage, isn't she? They could do that.
I don't know. That's
I don't
stupid
know.
Little thought process.
I don't know. We don't even know we have no idea. I know what's her name, Chloe, that plays her. She said she did an interview a couple days ago where she was asked about her future in the MCU, and of course they all give the same generic fucking laser light on my forehead answer. I don't know.
I don't even know. I hope it's something big.
Bro, fucking Tanakh Huerta, I think names. When he said they asked him about Namor's future, and he's like, I don't know. I'm here. No, they asked him about being in King Dynasty. He's like, I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Bullshit. Jeff Loveness just said a couple fucking days ago, I'm excited to write Namor. Like, you're in a King Dynasty.
Ant-Man said Doctor Strange's villain, no T'Challa to lead, and Kang proclaiming to be a hero instead of merciless villain. This isn't what I was hoping for in Kang Dynasty. Yeah. Now that Doctor Strange shit was just a rumor. I don't know how much weight that shit holds, but I did see that when I woke up.
No, D-Stizzle, don't delete that comment. I read that comment, and that was the comment I was about to read next. And I agree with you. That's why I'm worried, not worried, but I'm more curious with how Madam Web is going to be handled, because you have to explain the Web of Destiny, Web of Life to casual viewers and have that shit make sense. Because it's one of those things where if you are confused by the quantum realm shit, the Web of Life, Web of Destiny, that's going to confuse you. That's going to confuse you.
It ain't really for kids.
That shit is going to confuse the hell out of you.
Geek Ledger said Thaddeus Ross, a cameo/supporting character. The actor was probably on set for a few days per project. Chadwick Boseman worked with everyone in Marvel Studios for years and for months at a time. The producing team for Black Panther just wasn't emotionally ready to move on when the production started on Black Panther 2. They decided to give the mantle of Black Panther to Shuri.
Like I've said since however long we've been talking about Black Panther, then don't attach yourself to the project. If you at that time felt that you couldn't do your job, step away. And that is said that many times. It's such a Black Panther, I'm telling you, bro. It's such a depressing topic.
Justin said, I don't know how true it is, but did you hear about the rumor that the next Shang-Chi movie is going to have variants of Kang in it?
Yes, that I did hear. Simu Lee just did a recent interview where he was talking about we will be seeing Shang-Chi sooner rather than later. We know that Shang-Chi 2 is coming before Kang Dynasty. We know that Dustin Daniel Creighton, who directed the first Shang-Chi, is directing obviously the second one, and he's directing Kang Dynasty. So you can definitely assume that he's directing Kang Dynasty. Jeff Loveness is writing Kang Dynasty, so you can definitely probably assume that with him directing that and Shang-Chi tying into Kang Dynasty, we will see variants of Kang for sure. And the producer over at Marvel Studios, forget his name. He's been doing a lot of talking lately. Forget his name, though. Maybe it's because they're trying to sit Nate's ass the fuck down. But he said there's not a corner of the MCU that Kang's not going to touch. So I would expect to see him in something like that, yeah.
D Steel said, "LOL. Yep, the concept of Madam Web / Web of Destiny and life will go over casuals' heads."
Yeah, that shit is not that. It's. I'm telling you, it's one of those things. Like, cause I remember when I remember my introduction to Madam Web was the '90s animated series when I was younger, and then I obviously reading Marvel comics. Got introduced to her a lot more, into her story. Obviously, Julia Carpenter and the rest of them, blah blah blah. I was confused. The '90s animated series when I was younger.
I still don't fully fucking get that shit. I'll be honest. I still don't fully get it.
Yeah, it was confusing.
Huh? Let me look that part up. JD75 said, "I do have one question. When will the rest of the Planet Fanatics family be here? Meaning the other guy that's been on here and the sister. I'm fine when it's just one or two of you. I was just asking. Great show either way."
Oh no, thank you.
Appreciate the compliment always.
Corey is taking care. She's out of state. She's taking care of her father. Her father fell down and he has had surgery on his back, so she is out of state taking care of her father. Kellen is getting married, so his time is very limited on anything that he can do. But Kellen is getting married.
The boy Kellen got married and been working.
So, but hopefully we will get everybody back in here soon. The four of us, we can get everybody back in here and hopefully get streams back to 4 opinions. So we'll see.
Life. Eagles fans said Doctor Strange 3 is supposed to be loosely based on the Triumph and Torment comic.
Really?
I heard that, but...
Really?
I don't know. Loosely based is a keyword right there. Very keyword.
I'm trying to see, do I see Marvel doing that comic? Or adapting it?
Loosely based is the keyword.
I want to now. I want to see.
Bro, gotta go look into that. Dorian Clayton said they could have pushed the project back. To be honest, what impact did it have on the future of the MCU?
Could have pushed what back?
What project are we talking about, Dorian?
Oh, he's probably talking about
Black Panther. He said, I'm fine with Shuri becoming Black Panther, but I think that they could have done something to work around no T'Challa in the movie, while everyone else has to handle what's going on.
We're talking about yeah. Okay, this is the comic I thought you were talking about. No, I don't see Marvel doing this.
Not at all, right? And that's why I'm saying loosely based.
Who's that rumor coming from?
Eagles fan. Do you know who you read that from?
Because that would imply that, we would have to have Doom. The Mephisto would have to be playing some larger role within the multiverse. Interesting.
CGG said, "What about the universe hopping of Universal Avengers? What would there be incursions in all their universes?"
That's why I said they need to explain this shit. They need to explain how incursions work in the MCU.
Because whenever I don't know, they explained it differently. Because in Loki, it's almost just like you're creating different timelines
that can get pruned.
Yeah, but in Doctor Strange, they made it seem to where like you're causing incursions. I don't know if Loki was in a different universe or just in a different timeline. Well, I don't know,
bro.
Like maybe there's some actual things they're not doing a good job of explaining.
They're not. I'm still lost. I know where we're going. I get the concept of it because I know comics, but within your MCU, I'm lost. I still don't fucking know.
I get the path, but I don't get how you're getting.
Yeah,
there.
I don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see.
He said Illuminati. Okay. And Geekosity.
That's what
Geekosity
Eagles
was talking about it. Was he? He's kind of new. When I say he's kind of new, like, he's kind of new. But I do like him though. I didn't know he was talking about it.
Are we counting like the What If universe as a Marvel universe?
Oh, wrong geekosity.
Are them niggas making incursions?
Who is it?
In the What If universe? Does that shit count as a Marvel universe? Are they over there causing incursions?
Sorry, I'm thinking of a different geekosity. Are they causing incursions in the What If universe? I don't know. Is the What If universe? That's another thing. Again, Marvel they'd have to, bro. Does the What If shit even connect to any of this? Like, because the Peggy Carter that was in 838 is not the Peggy Carter that went into the portal at the end of her episode. Like, I don't know. Does Marvel know? You know, I don't know. That's why they have to explain this. This is why casual fans are like, I can't keep up.
Yeah,
I can't keep up.
Geek Ledger said also, if a character simply being in a different universe causes incursions, wouldn't America Chavez being in 616 universe cause an incursion? I would say in that case specifically, no.
I would say no, just because
she's a one of one. Yeah, she's traveled universes and can't find herself. Like, this is specifically what she's meant to do. Yeah, like she has the power to travel universes.
Yeah, no to her, but no.
Yeah. Raymond said, I think we're going to see the Guardians of the Multiverse in some form or fashion. It's just, I don't know, man. That's T'Challa. I don't know. And then Raymond said, I'm very hesitant when it comes to the next Black Panther comic because that design looks trash. I like the Chadwick tribute though.
I looked at the design. I won't be reading. Up. Nope. Unless somebody can get on here in the chat, or I see some shit on Twitter where it's like, oh wow, they've returned T'Challa to. I won't be reading. I tweeted what I tweeted about Eve Ewing after she did her interview with, please forgive me, Black Comics. Gosh, you all know the interview she did with them over on their YouTube channel. I retweeted some things and I said, you know what, her interview was positive. She said some positive things, some things, I was like, but I won't be reading. They don't care about T'Challa. She's got to dig herself out of whatever hole Ridley has put the current state of Black Panther comics in. And also, judging from her interview, it sounds like she's wanting to do that, but it also sounds like she's not. Like, I don't know, bro. So y'all read it for me. And you let me know. Yes, Black Comic Lords. Thank you, CGZ.
D. Cecil said, casuals would have struggled with Adam Warlock, Magus, and Soul World, but I still wanted it. The concept of Cancerverse would also confuse casuals.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, too. Even if it does confuse casuals, you have comic book fans that know this shit, that when we go pay to see, we want to see, if it doesn't make sense to you,
sorry.
I don't know, don't watch it.
Okay, you're not, and that's my thing. Like, Marvel got too far off in trying to please everybody instead of realizing, like, we're a comic company and we have fans and we need to be loyal to such fans because they've been loyal to us. Even though we have expanded our audience, I don't know why they've decided they have the right to just kind of like take the fun out of it for comic fans just to please everyone else. Yeah. But then again, we know why. It's money. It's not even making them more money.
I know. She verified T'Challa's the and that's coming from CGZ, that she verified T'Challa is the lead in her run. I know. But she still got some holes to dig that motherfucker out of.
Geek Ledger said, and what about the symbiote at the end of No Way Home? Does that count as an entity that can cause incursions or cause...
Again?
They have a multiversal hive mind as set up in Venom. They can't cause incursions. Question mark. I don't know.
Bro,
good question.
That's just it. I'm so there's so many this guy, but you said this at one point. Well, you guys said this at one. That was a whole thing. What do you say? 80 billion years of hive mind knowledge or whatever. Yeah, it would destroy your tiny little brain. It's they have to explain that shit. You're asking about the piece of the symbiote left? I don't know. Since
where the
we
fuck
left,
even? Yeah, where is that?
Where is it? Since we left No Way Home, where the fuck is that thing crawled to? You know, like what's going on? Oh my god, they have so many stories that they have to close because they've opened so much shit.
Nobody then talked about this celestial fucking grabbing Cersei.
That. Oh my god, yes,
Cersei.
No one's talked about Arishem coming through the clouds, talking about I'm being back to judge all you motherfuckers. There's so many. And how does that play? You know what I mean?
I genuinely do.
How do the Celestials play into, or is that going to be something that goes on in the? I don't know. How do the Celestials play into Kang stuff? What's Kang doing to a Celestial?
Hey, Ant-Man said the multiverse saga is making little to no sense. Infinity Saga had a much better build that led to an epic conclusion. Sometimes I think the MCU should have stopped after Endgame.
I mean, and that's such a hard pill to swallow, but yeah, bro, because it's like,
sometimes I feel like the MCU think they should have stopped after Endgame.
And then again, you got Kevin Feige up here tweeting shit like, 80 plus years of MCU. No.
I'm lucky to have 8, nigga. You're lucky to have 8 more years of my life.
Like, we haven't even heard shit about Secret Invasion, and that comes, in May? It's March? They've not said shit about Secret Invasion. Nothing. They've said nothing. No, they're too busy sharing deleted scenes from Iron Man 1 with Samuel Jackson. I'm like, bro, I don't give a shit about a deleted scene. Like, can we see some shit from Secret Invasion?
CGZ said the bartender wiped the venom goo off the bar counter. Where the fuck is it at now?
He did, but even though just because you wipe it, it's not going to just
die.
I mean, it's gonna. It's literally, what's the hand in the Addams Family? It's literally that. Like, it's walking around the MCU right now.
Oh shit. Mano said the backlash of a jointed universe in the movie world seemed to be challenging over years. This is why the MCU storylines are becoming so confusing.
Yeah, that too.
Geek Ledger said, I thought Eternals is the furthest in the timeline. I'm just confused at this point regarding the timeline. I miss when movies happen in mostly chronological order, and when it didn't, and when it didn't, they clarified.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. Like, where Eternals takes place, obviously it's after Endgame. But I don't know. They have to clarify that. They have to explain a lot. That's why there's just so many loose holes. Pause. Again.
Boy, if you don't go say it. Dorian said, a thought just popped up. What was the point of us getting the Celestial and Eternals if we aren't getting Galactus anytime soon?
Well, the rumor, grain of salt, is that Silver Surfer is no longer the villain for Fantastic Four because that would be redundant. Been there, done that. We saw that in the last Fantastic Four with Alba. The rumor is that Galactus is the villain for Fantastic Four, and that Dennis Quaid or Keanu Reeves is playing his voice.
Dennis Quaid. Who'd he voice before? They ain't got deep ass voice, right?
Who?
The first name you said.
Dennis Quaid? Yeah, Dennis Quaid's got a bit deep voice.
That ain't got deep ass
That's
voice.
who they need to get, not Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Raymond said, I used to never get why people say that, but after what they did to T'Challa, yeah, reboot. Start from scratch. Now you have most of your characters, build the MCU up and do it differently.
Yep.
These Diesel said, full reboot post-Secret Wars for me. You don't have to retell origin stories, but just keep the good, dump the bad. Watch Galactus of all characters be another one and done villain.
That would be wild.
Yeah, I don't.
That would be
That's
wild.
Nothing to support. That's nothing to support.
Imagine Galactus dying in the first movie he shows
first
up in.
Fantastic Four.
What the fuck?
JD75 said, y'all brothers get some rest. Great show as usual. Good night, family.
Thank you
Appreciate
so much,
you.
JD.
You have a good night as well, brother.
Appreciate you being here, brother.
CGG said Molecule Man should be the villain in the Fantastic Four.
He's rumored to be in it, which again, I was happy when I saw that on the rumor because I was like, okay, we're getting pieces that contribute to Secret Wars. I just, I don't trust the MCU right now and their treatment of characters, treatment of stories, treatment of anything. I'm still gonna be viewing because I'm interested, and I'm 32 films in, I'm invested, goddammit. So of course I'm gonna be watching, but yeah.
William Moloch said, what if Thanos won in Endgame and the Avengers are actually in one of the universes that Doctor Strange said they lost, but they think they won? This could be a reason why we think Phase 4 sucks. Is just a made-up reality that Thanos made up with the Reality Stone. That is funny.
That would,
It would explain a lot. Niggas in a horrible-ass reality.
That's another thing, too, I want to know. Like, Thanos. Are we getting Thanos back for Secret Wars? Is Thanos going to be in Secret Wars? I feel like he has to be in Secret Wars. Not I feel. He has to be in Secret Wars.
I was about to say. Andre said, I like what John Campea said about Marvel movies. They used to be for everyone, and you didn't have to watch other things like Disney Plus to show what is happening in the movies.
Oh, okay. Now, on that. Because when John says that, and I like John. Everybody knows I'm a John fan. But John also says some shit, though. I'm like, what? Like, because when John says that, he normally starts it off with, I don't like that all the movies connect. What the fuck do you mean? Like, when you say
Less
that...
interconnecting stories.
Yeah, like, when you say that, what do you mean? Like, so, that's what the MCU is, though. Like, that was established in Iron Man. Like, Hulk. It's supposed... Yeah, or Hulk. It's supposed to be one singular interconnected story. Like, do I want Marvel to do like DC's doing now, these Elseworld things where we could have movies that aren't within the MCU's timeline but still Marvel? Yes. But within the MCU's timeline, I don't want it to be one of these things where, oh, well, you can watch this and no. If you didn't watch this, you're not going to get this. Like, I like the interconnected tissue of everything. It's just like Harry Potter. If I watch one Harry Potter and you watch Half-Blood Prince, and you, for the first time, and you don't understand why Snape is being the way he's being, well, it's because you didn't watch any of the previous films before Half-Blood Prince. Like, I like interconnective shit, bro. Like, that's just what it is. I don't, like, I want the Elseworld stuff, too. But when John says that shit, I'm like, what the fuck?
Official MG said, I think John looks at things from a strictly film fan, not a comic fan.
And he definitely does. He definitely does. Because John also always says, well, the comics aren't the movies and blah, 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 blah. But the comics are the basis for the movies. Like,
the fucking source material. Raymond said, John doesn't like interconnecting stories, so his opinion doesn't matter. I've stopped watching his show a month ago.
Yeah, and he doesn't like interconnected stories. I'm just like, bro, that's so weird, though. Like, we're 32 movies in and you're still complaining about that, though. That's why I'm like, this is the MCU. That's what they're doing. It's weird.
Shirley Miles said, I mean, to bring back T'Challa, one of the characters should have a dream about what happened in Wakanda Forever. Raymond said, John is the same person who gets mad when Star Wars doesn't connect. So what is wrong with Marvel?
I'm telling you, I just...
Niggas just be out here contradicting, bruh. Ant-Man said, why do I have a feeling that Kang's responsible for T'Challa's mysterious illness as he sees Black Panther as a serious threat that he had to be eliminated?
You know, I saw people talking about that on Twitter, and I said, fuck that then. Yeah. And it's fuck that now. No. Like, I don't want Kang to be the reason...
Kang was the reason that nigga Ross was recast.
Yeah, like, or Kang's the, no. Like, the theory with the X-Men, that works because they have not been established within the MCU. But the fact that he's going, I don't like the idea of him picking off Avengers from a distance. Like, oh, how did he infect him? Let's play with it. Let's play with it. How did he infect T'Challa with this illness? He was gone for 5 years. He was blipped for 5 years. And he came back. This film took place a year after the blip. So within that year, what? He infected T'Challa with some illness that Wakanda couldn't heal? So you're telling me not one Wakanda from any...
Not from the few...
Not one Wakanda from any fucking universe? I'm just saying. That's no. I'm not. No. That shit can. If I'm walking out. If in Kang Dynasty, Shuri says some stupid shit like, "You're the reason that my brother's gone," I'm walking out. I promise you, you heard it here first. If she says some ignorant shit like that, I'm walking out. And that will be my official done date with Marvel. With the MCU, I promise.
Oh, shit.
I promise.
Raymond said he contradicts himself every time. Grandpappy of Recast Movement, the only thing he founded was AMC and quit every time. Someone did something he didn't like. Omega said John Campea tried defending and compared most of Whedon's Justice League, then Snyder is so funny.
Yeah, I've seen those comparisons too.
Xavier said, yeah, it makes you mad just thinking about it. Wakandans, especially Shuri, not being able to heal T'Challa is trash.
It doesn't make sense, bro. It doesn't make sense.
Raymond said when she sees Zemo and Namor in Kang Dynasty, she's going to say, he killed my mom and papa.
Yeah, Bombay!
Baba! I'm pretty much caught up on all the comments. It's getting late.
D-Stizzle, hold on, I'll read D-Stizzle's in Double Tar. D-Stizzle said, man, Picard Season 3 is actually dope. Oh, Star Trek. The previous 2 seasons were whack, but Season 3 feels like classic Star Trek. I just don't know what classic Star Trek feels like. I have never been a Trekkie. I can't do that, and maybe that's why I'm not a Trekkie. I have too much skin.
I don't know. I've never.
That's it. You can do it. I can't. I have too much webbing in between so I can't.
Pause.
I can't do that shit. So maybe that's why I'm not a Trekkie.
I can't make a peace sign with my thumb out.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, I can't do that. And I can't flip people off and put my fingers down either.
Oh yeah, I can do that too.
Yeah, I can't do that. But I can Trek, I guess.
No, I can't. Maybe that's why I've never been a Trekkie. I don't know.
I'm a Trekkie, but I can't fucking flip niggas off. Raymond said classic Star Trek is Disney movies when they were drawn with a pencil and animated. This Star Trek is crappy CGI Disney movies.
Double Tar said, how did he infect T'Challa? A dormant STD from Nakia that interacts with his DNA.
That is crazy.
Oh god, that's funny. Gray said it's easy with an emoji.
Gray a Trekkie.
Mano215. What have I thought about Mandalorian Season 3? You guys are going to be, again, I still have not watched Mandalorian Season 3, and it's not because I don't want to. God knows I want to. I've avoided everything that I possibly can about it. My work schedule now. I go in at 6. Sometimes I didn't get off today till 7. Not 7. I got off today at 6:30.
Raymond said that's how T'Challa died. He got something from Nakia.
John said
just was on a stream about fan casting DCU.
Dope.
Yeah. Raymond's. Oh, nice. I read that one already.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything? I know everybody's probably sitting there thinking okay, giveaways. Giveaways we're gonna do Monday because I didn't have time today to go out at work to get them.
Y'all.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry. We
kept y'all here all stream.
Yeah, we kept you here all stream just to tell you that at the last minute. No,
I lied.
No,
I lied. Sometimes I be lying.
We're gonna do the giveaways. It just will not be today. It'll be Monday. We're gonna do the giveaways on Monday. That's right. Like Raymond said, that's all we came for. They came for the giveaways. They only came for the giveaways.
I'll let you know now. Derry's probably not the one to care about Pokemon. That's probably gonna be me.
Yeah, that's gonna be more Q.
And I don't even care that much now that Ash gone. That was my nigga. I'm gonna have to see what they doing. I haven't looked into anything new that's coming out.
I'll look up the.
Now that you said, I was gonna say. Now that you said that shit, I probably will.
Because I do want to see what it looks like.
Raptor Cloak said, "How did T'Challa vid coming along?"
It is. You know what? I can show y'all. Well,
yeah,
you're
Raymond
not gonna be
Ash
able to
is
see
gone, bruh. Retired. Done.
it. You're not gonna be able to see it.
Raymond said he wasted 2 hours of our time. The Jinx. There's a theory that the spider sense changes or creates alternate timelines. When Spidey is supposed to die, the spider sense warns him, and by saving himself, he creates a new timeline.
This is all you guys can see from it. My script, everything I'm going to be saying, it's quite extensive. I have pictures saved in here. I have links saved in here.
Bro,
So
yes, y'all. Ash is gone.
when you ask me how's it going, it's going good. It's going great. Honestly, I like what I've got
No,
so
that's
far.
Raymond.
It's just,
Exactly. You can't. My fault.
No, you're fine.
I just think you show. You can't have Black Panther no T'Challa, Naruto no Naruto, Dragon Balls no Goku. Like you can't have Pokemon no Ash and Pikachu, and that's just how I feel.
No, I agree.
That nigga Double Tar said, "I don't come for giveaways." Was totally unaware. I love the stream.
Well,
Hey,
thank you,
we love
Double
you too,
Tar.
buddy.
Take notes, Raymond.
Yeah, Raymond. Stop being a dry hater. Next giveaway is on Raymond.
He said, "Who do I sue?" Yeah, no, it is coming along though. It's long. I will tell you guys the title of it. The title of this video is "It Was All a Dream."
Yes, Dorian, we do giveaways.
Yeah, we do giveaways every Friday. Well, not this Friday, but typically every Friday.
Every Friday and some Mondays and
yes,
some random days sometimes. It was all a dream.
I was listening to Juicy. Juicy by Notorious came on while I was working on the script. I was listening to music and working on the script, and when he said, "It was all a dream," I said, "That's the fucking title of this goddamn video. It was all a dream." Yeah, bro. It's gonna be pretty cool, I think.
Raymond said Double Tar sucking up so he can win the next one. And then he said, "I ain't got shit to give away." Next time Raymond win a giveaway, that's a giveaway. Raymond win, it's a double giveaway.
That shit is funny.
Anytime
Raymond
I
was looking up the Pokemon.
It goes to Double Tar. Let's see any ones I haven't caught. Is Netflix supposed to take over the Justice League?
Oh, this is what it looks like?
Yes. Ugh, it's gonna be so hard to.
There it is. That's what it looks like now. I mean, I don't mind this. I don't mind anime.
Care.
Yeah, no, I don't care.
I was gonna say, what you mean you don't mind?
I don't care. I think the only Pokemon things that I have ever really enjoyed, not to say that I wasn't like, I had friends like Henry. Henry was a big Pokemon fan, and Henry and I have been friends since second grade. So Henry was a big Pokemon fan. I played Pokemon Go. I loved it. Obviously, I loved Pokemon Go. I was up to like 3 a.m. jumping in motherfuckers' backyards for Pikachu. Like I loved Pokemon Go. And
my niece was going to AAU tournaments, walking the streets downtown,
trying to
get when we didn't have games,
trying to get whatever Pokemon. And I love the Pokemon movie with Mew and Mewtwo. But I think and I like Team Rocket's little saying they say every time. I think that's where my shit stops, though.
How the fuck I knew you were a motherfucking Team Rocket fan. Them evil ass niggas.
I like Team Rocket.
I know. Just anyone trying to fuck off the day. That's what you enjoy. Showspot Up said, "I've been watching the press for Creed 3 and Deep is Jonathan Major's new favorite word." Raptor said, "Mewtwo and Charizard are still my faves of the bunch."
Oh, I like Charizard.
Yeah,
the dinosaur one?
Yeah, we're not even finna get into all that. We'll sit here and talk about that forever.
I like Charizard. I don't like Mewtwo. Yeah, the pink one.
Yeah.
The little
thick nigga.
Yeah.
Omega said those.
No. Mewtwo's the sadistic one. Mew is the pink, cuddly, kind one.
I mean, they're both pink, purple.
I thought Mewtwo was gray.
No.
Oh, they remade that movie. It's awful.
I was gonna say that might be different then. I ain't seen that.
I watched it. I swear he's gray. Is he not?
I thought no, Mewtwo's white pink.
Am I spelling his name right?
Emmy Meow 2.
Oh,
That's all it is Meow 2.
Oh, maybe is that not? Who's that? Who's this one? Oh, okay.
Mew is pink, Mewtwo is purple. Yeah, I'm not saying neither of them great. I don't know.
I thought this motherfucker was
Only
gray.
Great nigga I know is fucking Geodude and like.
Where's the remake? What's that movie? Pokemon the movie? Is it just Pokemon the movie?
I think so. You should be able to find it by just typing that shit in.
They remade it. Yeah, that shit. It's that type. Yes, this was so bad. This was so bad. Because I like the original movie,
hey,
but
double
this
tar drop Team Rockets word for word. Go ahead.
Prepare for trouble. Make it double.
Exactly.
That was my shit.
That little nigga always get kicked. Yeah.
I used to love when they came on and did that whole monologue.
And I know your ass danced to
the whole monologue.
You watch Dragon Balls again, you force type of. I'm already. Anyone who just fuck it off the day.
Oh, that shit's so funny. Yes, this.
Nigga Raymond said, "I thought you ain't watch Pokemon. Was you lying to us?"
I didn't watch Pokemon, not like that. I watched it, but not like that. Yeah, this shit though. This movie was great. The movie came out in '99. That movie was great.
Oh my god, I'm gonna definitely clip that shit.
Oh, maybe it came in 2000.
Raymond Q, did you watch Naruto? I didn't. I watched Naruto, but I can't remember it because I've never rewatched it. I'm not a Naruto fan.
Oh man, you just really hurt Raymond. He is a big Naruto fan. He's such a big fan. He was one of the kids in school that used to run like him in the hallways.
I did too, though. Like,
oh god,
I did run like that, nigga. I'm not gonna lie. I had a Naruto, but I'm not the biggest fan now. Like growing up, I was, but I've kind of grown away from it.
I know nothing about it. I know nothing nothing
I'm
about
just not one of those
Naruto.
who sits there and I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm Ninetales and this and that. Shit, they say count your days, Darius. That is funny as fuck.
That shit's funny. He said Q at least watched.
Yeah, nah. I need to go back and rewatch, honestly, though. It's a little time passer, but I've deadass straight up been Boondocks every night, even if I just seen the episode.
Like it's one I can rewatch over
right
and
now,
over
I'm
and
straight
over.
Boondocks, and like I'm watching like an episode of a documentary here and there, and sports and Boondocks. Like
Yeah,
that is
bro.
it.
Have you gotten to the episode? I know you've seen every episode, but have you gotten to the one where Uncle Ruckus? Oh no, Robert. He said, "Oh, you niggas thought you could go home? No, you ain't. This is your home." It's when they got enslaved because he couldn't pay the shit.
Bro, they were talking that nigga Ruckus, bro. Some of the funniest shit he says whenever they were talking about black people, he was like, "Well, I wouldn't exactly call them people."
One of my
this nigga is insane.
One of my favorite things Ruckus says, it's him, Robert, and Tom, and they're at the park, and Tom and Robert are about to go running. He says, "Ruckus, you want to run with me? I don't want to run with you niggas. The cops fuck around and mistake me for one of you niggas."
Then he was talking about you ain't go find no black woman out here jogging. That nigga said they keep that evil spirit inside of them. They don't want to sweat it out. I was like, this nigga is crazy. That nigga Ruckus, whenever there was a Chinese kickball tournament, bro.
Yes.
Let's play balls. Like, this nigga is crazy, bro.
Ruckus is one of the funniest characters, bro. He's so funny.
Nah, deadass. That nigga be having me dead, and then like
Riley,
it's always that It's always that jail episode that do it for me.
Yeah.
What's that fine motherfucking name? Tom. He said Tom.
He said, I like the beginning of that episode though. He said, I see you didn't hear me. I see, I called you Chris Handsome.
So I came here for 2 things. He said,
I like you.
I know. So you can bring them cameras up in here.
He said, I like you. I want you.
That nigga said, I was too busy looking at that fine motherfucker right there. What's your name, fine motherfucker? Tom. So you're supposed to be scaring the children.
Oh, that episode is funny as fuck.
You can't have my booty. It's mine. It's mine and you can't have it.
Oh, yeah. The episode where they perform the exorcism on Tom.
Bro, my fucking God. Sitting there beating the shit
with that belt.
Because fucking, what's the stink
Stink meaner. Yeah, that shit is so funny.
Shit, bro, I could sit here and talk about the Boondocks all night because that shit, like, I laugh every 2 or 3 minutes, bro. Like, so every time that nigga say, like, that fucking Tyler Perry episode is probably
so funny. The R. Kelly one is funny as fuck, too, though.
That's like the very first episode.
Yeah, that shit is, bro. When Riley...
That girl wanted it.
when Riley takes down Tom's whole... defense.
Yeah, defense system.
If a nigga try to pee on me, I'ma
move. If I was finna get pee on, I'ma get out the way. But when that nigga, bro, it's something about that fucking episode. Which one was I just talking about? The one, not the R. Kelly one. The
Tyler Perry one with
yes, bro. When that nigga says on your knees, Robert, then he's just like, okay, damn, you got big hands. And he slapped and palm his fucking face and put him on. Bro, I got that shit screen recorded and I wake up every once in a while and I just watch it and I'm like, bro, that shit on your knees, Robert. The nigga said, alright, okay, can I just get some ass? The nigga said, can I please get some ass?
Shirley Miles said Tyler Perry was the one that banned the
he got it banned.
He did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Bro, it's not... He got it banned.
I knew they weren't doing...
It's on HBO Max, but whenever it came out, they had to take it down. He got it banned.
He got it banned because they did that episode.
Because they're all the Christ shit with him and the gay... Yes.
But how did he get it banned? Like, what did
they
Tyler...
used it? They were defaming his name or some shit like that. But I don't know how he exactly did it. But it was like defamation of character or some shit.
How the fuck did he get away with that one?
I don't know. But that shit was so fucking funny, bro.
They talk about everyone in Boondocks.
Like Kardashians was in there and fucking NBA stars.
Fucking, I love the episode with fucking Martin Luther King when he came back when he was in
episode.
The Obama episode.
He said Obama made smoking weed legal. No, he didn't. Oh.
I like when Martin Luther King's talking to them at the end. He said, "Please, will you niggas be quiet? Niggas is always lazy. Niggas is this." That shit was so funny. Oh fuck! I love the Boondocks. I love the
shit!
Boondocks.
That nigga said Tyler Perry got a whole city. Yeah, no, I definitely like, bro. Every time I'm cause I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know who I act more like, Riley or Huey. Because I have my days where I'm like Huey and I want to be like a real statistical ass nigga and just shit on niggas. Then I got my days like where I'm like Riley. I'm like, shut up, nigga. You niggas is gay. No homo. Pause.
Thugnificent, or the episode with
fucking a pimp named Slickback.
Boy, now that's some of the funniest shit. When Cat comes in as a pimp named Slickback. Hold on, bro. Hold on, bro.
The nigga said you gotta beat her, Tom.
that episode where it was the same episode. The homies over hoes do the homie, and he had a pimp named Slickback talk to Riley. That shit was so motherfucking funny. Hold on.
That shit is so fucking comedy, bro.
That shit is comedy.
I don't know why I just thought of that nigga.
Comedy.
You gotta say a pimp name. It's part of the name.
Comedy. Hold on. Because
that's not gay.
Hold on.
Of course.
I have to play what he called him. Am I gonna get copyright for this?
Nah.
I don't want to do it if I'm gonna get copyright.
You shouldn't. Man. Just
hold on. I want to play
it's
that
on
shit.
YouTube.
That shit is so funny when he is talking to him and he said, no. What'd he say? No, a pimp named Slickback never does shit for the homies. He said, I repeat. He said, niggas not doing shit for the homies.
It's some of the funniest. I forgot exactly what he said. He was telling her, he's like, you gotta hit her. He's like, I'm not hitting her. Oh, she hit the fuck out of Tom. Say, she beat the shit out of you,
no problem hitting you, Tom. Sweetest Taboo.
That's what it was.
When Sweetest Taboo hit the shit out of Tom.
That shit is funny because that nigga wife was tripping on Usher.
Here it is.
Turns out it was broke. That shit is so.
That's not gay. You who thinks everything in the world is gay. Nigga, you gay. You gay. Y'all niggas gay. Nigga, you gay. That's gay.
Wait a minute. The slick back.
No, not me. So you see, my dearest Riley, this instinctively burning need to procreate between a man and a bitch that not only keeps the human race going, but also fuels many important industries such as my very own.
So what do you think about homies over hoes?
I don't know what that is.
Homies over hoes? You know, like, you're supposed to put your homie over a hoe. That's how pimps do, right?
I don't think homies over hoes is a sentiment that a pimp named Slickback can co-sign, Riley. I mean, don't get me wrong. A pimp named Slickback will put a lot of things over a hoe. Money over a hoe? Always. Brand new gators over a hoe? Absolutely. A turkey sandwich with just tomato? Guaranteed. But homies? Oh no. A pimp named Slickback don't do shit for the homies. Let me reiterate, don't do shit for the homies. Unless the homie wanna walk that stroll and get that money, the homie ain't getting a damn thing. And the same goes for brothers, peeps, dudes, fellas, dunnies, comrades, whatever the niggas is calling each other nowadays. Sound like some gay shit to me.
Bro, the episode where Riley wanna be in a gang and that nigga go get a chain.
Yeah.
That one big white nigga beat his ass. He sent the old nigga to get his chain back and that nigga get his ass beat too. That shit, bro. I'm finna go home and watch this shit right now. Like, this is what I do every night. I go turn on the Boondocks and play Madden. Like, one monitor got the Boondocks, the other monitor I'm on Madden. That's literally all I'm doing all night.
That is funny.
What's crazy is I didn't know that was Cat Williams the first time I watched that shit.
Yeah, that's Cat.
It wasn't until like the second or third time where I was like, hold on. I know this nigga voice. I think it was at the time whenever he was like, you gotta hit it. Yeah. And I was like, hold on, bro. This nigga.
Like Gray just said when he said, Sweetest Taboo, you are in rare form today. I remember that shit.
That nigga wanted Tom to beat the shit out of his wife, bro.
You gotta hit her, Tom. That shit is so funny. Oh, fuck. I love the Boondocks.
I could live, bro. Every day I'll sit here and tell you I got a new favorite episode. Because just the other day it really was that Chinese kickball tournament shit.
I might have to watch Boondocks tonight.
Nigga said if we lose, I'm getting sent to a concentration camp. That nigga Huey knew Chinese. I was like, bro, that shit is tough, bro. I was like, this shit is just like every aspect of TV I like. Nigga.
Yeah.
Any more comments we need to address? Shirley said Tyler Perry told Time Warner he would not do another show because of Boondocks. Tyler Perry had a lot of comedy sitcom on TBS. Makes sense.
Darth said, keep up the good work, gang. Just came by to show love. And Q, man, you got to be on more of these. Y'all two together got good chemistry. Planet Poppy said, remember when he slapped his assistant for asking, oh yeah, when the wife, she said, oh, if we just had an upgrade. And he looked at her.
I just got you that computer last year.
Day you bring that shit up.
Every day you need some new shit. That's what I was thinking about because he asked about a report or something. He was like, oh, no, the computer's moving kind of slow. Every day something moving slow.
Dial-up.
Every day is something moving slow.
Oh my god.
Shit.
Oh my god, that is funny.
That nigga. Or when that nigga, like, bro, calling Ronald Reagan the devil and shit, like, them niggas have done so much. Bro, the Ed Oneckler shit.
Oh, the Onslers, bro. The Onslers are fucking, especially Which one is the crazy ghetto one? Is that Ed? The brothers? The once the kids?
Bro. That shit is so fucking funny.
Yeah, that, bro.
The nigga Martin Luther King said, "Will you ignorant niggas please shut the fuck up?" I could sit here and talk about that shit all night. Bro. We dead ass gotta have a stream of just watching the fucking Boondocks, bro.
I could go on and on with Boondocks. That's just funny. And the episode where he fucked Santa up. He said, "Dear Santa." Then he erased that shit. Use a bitch ass nigga.
No. Dear Santa, use a bitch ass nigga. You said use a bitch nigga. No.
The episode where this is the last one I'm talking about. The episode where the teacher said, well, you know, he said the word, so I said, you know, nigga. He's like, I didn't mean it in any type of way. He's like, get this, the other day Riley came in, he said, can a nigga borrow a fry? Now how is a nigga gonna borrow a fry? He said that, nigga, is you gonna give it back?
Bro, the shit, no. That's the last one I'll talk about, where Riley got his little thug friend and niggas get expelled and shit, and Riley getting bullied by that black kid, basically. Yeah. That nigga, bro. That nigga Riley was that
was based off that story, that little boy. That's just
bro, that niggas are, I wish, and I be talking to my friends all the time, like, bro, them niggas should have never stopped, bro. Like, that is what we need in the world today.
It really is. And D Stizzle just said, dude who played Uncle Ruckus said the animation studio tricked off the budget, taking too long. That's why the new series was scrapped, and that sucks.
Man, at Planet Fanatics, we gonna get a petition going.
Man, I was so hurt. I was so hurt when they said, "Oh, it's canceled." I was like, "Bro, what? Can you imagine what the Boondocks could do with stories today?"
Wait, bro, nigga, what?
Man,
bro, can you imagine what they would have did with that White House shit when all them white people raided the White House,
bro. I'm telling you, it would be. I want to see them like do Trump. That shit would be.
But
so
I know they
funny.
also do some shit that's like funny as fuck, like joking about our own like culture and shit.
Oh yeah, like I would like to see them handle the BLM movement. Oh my god, that would be so fucking funny.
Them niggas, bro.
It'd be so funny.
They're handling like the Kyrie Irving shit with the anti-Semitism and shit. Like, I know that shit would be like fucking funny.
Man. But yeah, guys, we could go on and on. But
10:09.
I have to
Central Time.
I've got to pack and get ready to leave here at 4 a.m. to go to Jacksonville, Texas. So, Raymond said they could have gotten John Witherspoon's son, and he was going to, but then after all that shit happened with Netflix, there's an interview he did where he talked about it. I watched that interview where he was talking about it. They ultimately did some shady shit behind his back because he was going to play Pops' voice, but all that shit stopped.
Tough.
Yeah, smoking with cigarettes.
Shout out Regina King.
So yeah. Anyway, appreciate all you guys being here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. I will be back.
Giveaways Monday.
Yes, we'll be back with you guys Monday. Giveaways will be on Monday. So yes, we'll be back then. Thank you guys for everybody that gave super chats. It's always kind, always never it's never something that's expected. It's always something that's so very much appreciated though. And I thank you guys too for being in the chat, hanging out, talking, engaging. Even the ones that are just watching, appreciate you being here. It means the most. And when you guys like the videos, please like this video because it definitely helps us out over here because it's in that algorithm and everything like that. Once more, if you'd like to join the Discord, it is down below on our bio. So we will be back next week. And as let me pull this up. I always do that. I never have the shit pulled up when I need to have it pulled up. Let me see. Anyway, let me pick here what I want to do. I'm going to piss some folks off. Let's do this one because I know a lot of people don't like him and I really don't care. So, as I always say, like, subscribe, share with your friends. I thank you guys, and from the bottom of my heart, I really do mean it. I love all of you. You guys are not subscribers. You are friends.
Friends and fam.
Friends and fam. And we appreciate you guys being here. As I said, like, subscribe, share with your friends. I will see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out. Be safe. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Hey, did we get it?
Yeah, we got it.
All right. So where should we shoot the next one?
Thank you.